worst possible thing you could say when you walk into a car dealership. I spent 5 years with Mercedes-Benz, 5 with General Motors, and the worst thing a person could say when they walk in is, if you could just get me to this payment, we got a deal.
So your loan's probably still like 19, which means you got to pay to get out. You're upside down. It's called negative equity. Welcome to episode 10 of Car Shopping Questions and Answers. I'm your host, Deshone the Auto Advisor. We do these live streams throughout the day to make sure that you can get insider secrets from someone who was in the car business for more than 14 years. Technically, I've been in it since 2006, even though I left in 2020 to focus on educating anyone who's willing to listen. And so those who listen to me, you're going to see throughout this show that they get below market deals. They get cars in 30 minutes from home. They're not going back and forth with negotiating. You don't need down payments. Everything that you may have thought you knew about car buying, quite honestly, a lot of that is going to be dispelled on this broadcast. But we're going to make sure that you know how to get to the money, where the hidden money is in your car deals, and quite honestly, how much you've been overpaying by not having this information. So come on in. I have my man Dolan moderating. We're live on 4 platforms. You guys can start typing your questions. And while we get the first couple questions coming in, let's do some housekeeping. If you're going to spend some time with us on TikTok, if y'all could start tapping the screen, running the likes up so we can let TikTok know that we're about to talk some serious business here. And it lets TikTok know that they need to get some more people over here. So also, you want to share this with your best friend. Last thing you want is for you to use these strategies, save a ton of money, and then your friend a year from now is telling you how they got a car and they got ripped off and they lost thousands of dollars. And then you tell them about our show and they're like, wait, why didn't you tell me about that last year when you were watching? So tag your best friend. Shout out to the sharers. Also, while we're waiting for the first couple questions, let's do some housekeeping. Some of you don't know me. My name is Deshone the Auto Advisor. I'm the author of the new digital book, Cars from Home, 7 Steps to Saving Time, Money, and Avoiding Dealerships. We're rated 4.94 on Goodreads.com. Thank you to everyone who's rated the book. And we just got another rating, which is awesome. We appreciate it. And I'll read a little bit of it just so you could understand the magnitude of what's in this book. And everyone can get it for 75% off while you're here. But this one just came in. It says, this book is outstanding, a must-have for anyone seeking to buy, lease, or even sell a car. It's presented in a very professional, easy to follow, step-by-step manner that covers every situation from buying, leasing, paying cash, using credit, good credit, bad credit. Although I've purchased and leased several cars in my lifetime, I learned new tactics to obtain the best value for my money. Let's go. Appreciate that review, Barrett. Thank you so much. So everybody, you could get yours in my TikTok bio or my Instagram bio. You won't leave the broadcast, but get there before the 30 minutes is up so you can get your 75% off. And you can get it in the YouTube or the Facebook comments. We pinned a comment for you so you can get it. And then we'll actually throw this banner up so that you can scan it with your mobile phone camera. If you happen to be watching us on TV, you can scan that QR code right there. All right. So once we get the first question, Dolan, you can shoot it in, brother. All right. And look, if this is your first time, stay by your keyboards. This is a dialogue. This is not something you're just watching. I'm going to ask you questions, and I want you to type your response quick as possible so we can keep the dialogue going. Okay. Let me make sure I can see the Instagram comment. Okay. So this one's from Instagram. I currently have about 12 to 15,000 in equity in a finance vehicle with 8 months of payments remaining. Realistically, I don't envision myself keeping the vehicle for another 3 years, so I like to lease. Dang. So you're talking brilliant. You're talking brilliant. See, everything you thought you learned, who's heard people say never lease? Let's get some, I'm in rare form tonight. I'm feeling very aggressive, but I'm gonna stay calm and cool. Who's heard you should never lease a car? Type me in the comments. I told y'all, stay by your keyboards so I could understand who I'm talking to. If you were taught never lease a car, type me. Okay, I see you, Maya. All right, I see you, Jet Beauty Jenny. Okay. I see you, Calvin. All right, Calvin on Facebook. I see you, Lady Gal. So every single one of you who were taught that, those people owe you money. Because if you're not keeping your car 8 years, it's impossible to get a great deal if you didn't lease. There's only one exception, and that's if you're buying very inexpensive cars. I call them smart cars, saving money at the right time. $7,000 cars, $5,000 cars, $10,000 cars, that's different. $3,000 cars. But if you are buying relatively new 3, 4, 5, 6-year-old used cars and brand new cars, and you're not keeping them 8 years, you've lost thousands already. So I want you to stop that tonight. So I'm gonna make a claim. I don't mind if somebody makes a very bold claim like the one I just made, but you got to be able to support it. Let me show you something. So Tope got a lease on a BMW $690 a month. It's a $54,000 car. Now somebody else might have that car just like that. Somebody on it you might be watching saying, Deshone, I got the same car. To purchase this car, and what you're going to notice about how I want you to learn, you're going to learn to look at deals with no money going into them. Okay? See, where the confusion comes in is when down payments start coming in. When you start evaluating deals with no money going into them, you can evenly measure them. It's apples to apples, even in different scenarios. So no money down, she's driving a $54,000 BMW. Now she used our system, she got bids, so she didn't negotiate for this. She stayed at home and let these deals come to her. That same car would be $1,100 a month to buy, because some of you know every $5,000 on a purchase price, every $5,000 that you're going to borrow on a loan, on a 5-year loan, is about $100 a month, depending on the interest rate. Now, I want to give you a scenario that will never happen, but I just want to hammer home that if you didn't lease, but you should have leased, you can't get a great deal. And we're going to stop doing that. Now, watch this. Let's say you happen to walk in and you're looking at the same BMW Tope got. Brand new BMW, never driven before. What would be an unbelievable discount for that vehicle? You just so happen to catch a deal asleep in desperation mode. He says, look, I got to get rid of this car right now. What would be an unbelievable discount off a brand new BMW? Like the best deal that you could realistically get, where you would say, man, he took off all of that money. Throw some numbers out there. I'm about to prove my point. Why it doesn't matter how much money you save. If you put your deal on the wrong foundation, you can't get a good deal. Let's throw some numbers out. You see? Come on. Look, okay, y'all must be thinking. Okay, Coco Love, I like that. 20% off. I like that. So 20% off a brand new BMW. Can we all agree that if you walked in, you got 20% off a brand new car? That would be like, okay, Ted Chu said the same thing on Facebook. I like that. So let's just say, I'm gonna pull up my calculator, right? Pull up my calculator. She walks in, brand new BMW, $54,000. She gets it for 80% of what it costs. That's $43,000. I just told you every $5,000 is about how much per month? $100. So once we put our tax in here, let's not even put all the tax. Let's just round it up to 45. Tax is probably going to take it up to 46 with fees, 47. Let's just say 45. 45,000, y'all. Our payment's $900 a month. 5-year loan. That's with an unbelievable, never before seen discount. Remember that too. What is Tope paying? No money going into the deal. Do you see what I'm saying? Or if it's clicking, type clear. If it's clicking, that's an unbelievable, unheard of deal. Brand new BMW, desperate price. Please take it. I'm paying you to take it. Take 20% off the price. Here you go. You leave thinking, man, I won. I'll never get a deal like that again. What's my payment on this thing? $900. Take a 6-year loan. It's probably $800. Toke fan $690. This is what I'm talking about. It does me or you no good for me to show you how we get bids, how we make dealers bid for our business, how we shop for new cars, how we shop for used cars, how we make banks and credit unions bid when you miss this. Lease, if I don't lease and I should have leased, no way to get a great deal. So that's why, and we could throw one more scenario in here, because some of you like Deshone, but I don't buy brand new cars. I know what you're thinking. Let's throw one more scenario. Let's say we get a great price on a used one. That same BMW, used one, great price on a used one. Let's say we knock 35, 40% off the price. 40%. Say we find a 40%. I don't want anyone to accuse me of saying, Deshone, these numbers are just a little too, you're skewing the numbers. We're going extra unrealistic in terms of trying to show, right? So we get a nice BMW, good mileage. We knock 40% off that price, $54,000. We pay 60% of what it's worth. That's $32,000 we're paying. With taxes, it puts us at $35,000. What's our payment? $35,000 on a loan. Every $5,000 is $100 a month. What's the payment? I got you, Jet Beauty. I'm doing this for you. She said, one more example. I gave you the brand new lease that Toke got. I gave you the brand new. It doesn't matter. You could go and be not tons of money off on a new one. And here's the used one. $35,000. Every $5,000 is $100 a month. For payment $700 a month. So people are pulling up. Imagine 3 people pulling up side by side. Tope is in her new BMW 2024, paying $690 a month, no money down. Another buyer pulls up next door that never learned about leasing, but is not keeping their cars long term, because there is a place for buying. It's not about, everyone should be leasing. It's the 8-year rule. I'm talking about you short-term people. You're not keeping your cars 8 years, yet you believe the lies that you shouldn't be leasing. We're going to scrap that tonight. If you're willing to unlearn, tonight will be the last day you believe that bad information. So $690 a month, Toke pulls up. Someone pulls up next to Toke, got a phenomenal deal, think they won. Hey, we got the same car. Oh, yeah. Man, how much you get? You're not going to believe this. The dealer gave me 20% off this thing. Oh, that's incredible. How much is your payment on that? Oh, I'm paying $900. Oh, really? Okay. Yeah, no money down, though. No money down. Okay, what you paying? I'm paying $690, no money down. Oh, okay. Wow. Other person pull up in the used one. Oh, y'all got the new versions. That look good. That look real good. How much y'all paying? Oh, I'm paying $690 for the new one. Oh, I'm paying $9. Oh, I'm paying $7 for the used one. Do we understand how bad Tope is winning? So you keep believing that old information. It's cost you thousands of dollars. Cost your family thousands. I hate to be the bearer of bad news, but I'm also the bearer of good news. Because if I don't tell you, who's going to tell you? At least now you can actually make the changes and actually change your behavior and stop listening to people who rant about things but never talk numbers. Never talk numbers. They just rant and say, don't do this. Always do this. Never talk numbers, though. So this is it. First step, I'm glad this is all based on this first comment we got from Instagram. Don't envision yourself keeping the car 8 years, even 3 more years, then you need to be switching to a lease tomorrow. No point in staying in it. No point in staying in it. All right. Go ahead. Shoot the next question up, Dolan. I think we went deep enough on that first one. Okay. This is the 7 p.m. live show. This is our first live show in the evening. If you see the banner on the actual show, that means we rebroadcast it, because we do rebroadcast these shows all day, so you can tell your friends, even if they can't catch us live, they can watch the show. But yeah, right now we're live, so keep typing your question. Look, Marika said, "Wow, I understand. I understand. You're pulling back the veil." All right, this one's from Instagram. What's your opinion on the current car market with leasing? See, I can show you better than I can tell you. Those who don't know how to get great deals, there's no deals to them. We've been hearing this since the very, very beginning. When I started teaching people in 2021, we were hearing there's no deals out there. Felicia came in. She was our first person to use my stuff. She got a BMW X1. And she got it $1,950 off. That was in January 2022, middle of the pandemic, when there was blood in the street. Blood, everybody who came out the dealership, it was like you couldn't believe what you paid. And God willing, you didn't have to buy in those scenarios, or if you use my strategies, you did okay. But those who had to buy, I told you how dangerous it was back then, because dealers were charging 5, 10, 15 grand over sticker and getting it. Meanwhile, Felicia came in, she got a $1,950 discount off a white BMW, not a purple one that no one wanted, white one. Bonita, I always use Bonita because Bonita was middle of the, look, 2022, December 2022. Got 600 down, 600 a month on a brand new Kia Telluride. So our vantage point is different. I get it. To you, yo, there's no deals out there. To us, it's never been no deals. It's deals everywhere. Everywhere. Look, Frena. Some of you saw Frena. Just got a brand new lease. $579 a month. $65,000 vehicle. Ridiculous deal on a Jeep Grand Cherokee Hybrid. Ridiculous. Under 1% lease deal. So, I mean, Deshone, what about purchasing though? Well, it's easier to get purchase deals because there's no lease program. All you need is a huge discount from the dealer. When you're leasing, you need a huge discount from the dealer and a good lease program. So, but here's Sean, $73,000 F-150 Lightning just recently. Look, $20,000 off he's getting. It's just what you know. And I'm not the most proud of the fact I can get deals. I'm sure there's probably not one of you who doubt if this guy was in the car business, worked for Mercedes, worked for General Motors, he's clearly good at this. Of course he can get deals. That's why I don't even talk about the deals I get. I always show the people who use the stuff that I teach so that you could understand that you could get deals. You just need to change your strategies. Stop shopping like it's 1990. You get what I'm saying? You're shopping like it's 1990. No disrespect. I'm just telling you, look and analyze yourself. What about how you shop is different than how our parents shopped in the 90s? So this is what you need to change. And when you change and you start listening to what I'm telling you, you start sitting at home and you start going online and start making these dealers come to you and getting bids while you sit at home, making these banks come to you and getting bids while you sit at home, and not trading your cars anymore, getting bids from online buyers, you're going to save the same money. You're going to save the same money they're saving. Easier than you've ever saved it before. Okay? Change your strategy. That's what we do here. Okay? All of this is out of my new book. You can put the next question up, Dolan. Cars from Home. It's a digital book. You can get it for 75% off in the TikTok comments. You won't leave the broadcast. It's normally $97. But you get it for $24 as long as you get there before the 30 minutes is up. It'll be in your inbox. Same thing in my Instagram bio. Click the link, grab your copy, and then we got comments in the comment section. We have the link pinned for you guys on Facebook and YouTube, so you can get your copy for 75% off. Okay. TikTok. How do I know what the percentage is for lease deals for Mercedes-Benz? When I return my lease, do I have to replace the tires and brakes? If they're bald, yes. Or you're just going to pay for them. And the same thing that would lose you money if you own the car, lose you money if you're returning the lease. If you have a big dent on a car and you go to sell it, people are going to take off money for that, right? If you go and sell a car and you like, hey, yeah, I want to sell this car, and everybody looks and the tires are completely bald, they're going to take off money for that, right? Exactly. So you have to, now you don't have to run, now most leasing companies give you wear and tear. So I know you may have been thought, oh, I got to keep a lease perfect. No, absolutely not. They give you normal wear and tear. They allow you to have normal wear and tear, scratches, dings, you can even run the tires down pretty low. But when you start getting excess wear and tear, bald tires to the point where they're dangerous, dents, big dents, cracks in the glass, this stuff you're going to be billed for. And that's perfectly natural. Now, in the case of what is a good lease deal for Mercedes-Benz, it's not brand specific. Watch this, y'all. A good lease deal is a good lease deal no matter what. See, the name of the game with leases, if you're not keeping your cars 8 years, because there's a different way to win with cars, and that's keeping them long enough to where they're not depreciating a lot anymore. That's usually going to be at least 8 years before you start winning, and you can catch up with the good deals that lease people are getting. You see these payments they're paying. You saw the scenarios I put when, buying the used car, leasing, getting a great deal, buying the new car. In order for them to catch up to that lease deal, they need to keep their cars a very long time, 8 years minimum, so that they can start to recoup some of the money they're putting into these cars that a person who's leasing isn't. So long-term ownership is the way to win. 8, 10, 12, 15 years. Leases, great lease deals is the way to win. But that middle stuff, buying cars, switching them in 2 years, loss. Buying cars, switching them in 4 years, loss. 6 years, loss. Leasing the car and then buying it, so you go from a lease to a purchase, different, loss. You're stuck in the middle. So when we're looking at lease deals, y'all, we're using an old principle, which is the 1% rule. The 1% rule on great lease deals has always been around. As long as I've been in the car business, it was around. So if your lease deal was 1% of the MSRP of the car with no money out of pocket, you stole the car. You stole a car. And I got tons of those deals. I never paid more than that. Before 2019, that was my last time I leased, I had 4 Infinities, and I had 2 Pontiac G6s when I was with GM, and I had a Jeep Grand Cherokee. Those are the cars that I have leased. Matter of fact, I only leased one of the Pontiacs, then I bought a used one. So I had 1 Pontiac, 4 Infinities, and 1 and 1 Jeep. 6 leases I've had, all under 1%. So that's a steal. But what I found is people are signing bad lease deals and not knowing, well, what's a bad lease deal? If that's a steal, then what's a good lease deal and what's a bad one? The only parameter for a bad lease deal is you paid too much for a car you're giving back. So if you pay, and I created the 1.5% rule, what that looks like is if you're leasing a $40,000 car and your payment's 1.5%, 1.5%, that's $600 a month. That is the max. Because when you multiply that by 36 months, you're $21,600. On a $40,000 car, once you take your taxes and everything, you're probably about $44,000. So paying $21,000 over 3 years, not that bad. That's the max though. That is the max. Max, you don't go into a dealer, hey, man, you got to get me under 1.5%. No one who's learning from me has a goal to be at 1.5%. If that's the best deal out of all the offers we get, then that's different. But once you go over 1.5%, look, $650 a month, that same car, you're paying $23,000 for. You're paying more than that for a car you're giving back in 3 years. So this is why we had to have that. Now, between 1% and 1.5, that's a good deal. Between 1% and 1.5, good deal. And what's going to dictate where you land on that spectrum is if you're getting bids, because you're not going to get the lowest price from a dealer without getting at least 5 offers. I told you, 80% of dealers are overpriced. Remember that. If you can grasp that, I want you to type the number 80, because you need to understand 80% of dealers in the country are overpriced. I see you. I see you, Steven. Okay, I see you, 223 Apparel. All right, TikTok locked in. I see you. Okay, type. When you get that, then you're going to be much more aware that I cannot. I see you. I am Tashan F. Sir. You're going to be much more aware of why you cannot walk into a dealer thinking you're going to get your best deal. Because if there's 10 dealers on the street, 10, now what you should be saying is 8 are overpriced. So I can't gamble and walk in and think, because you can't negotiate and win with an 80% deal. Because their prices are so high, even when you get money off, you still lose. So that's where, so it takes two things to get great lease deals. You have to get bids while you sit at home. You talk to all 10 of those dealers online. I have the best system for doing that. You could do it your way if you want, but you need to do it. In my book is my scripts and my websites I go right to the dealer's website. What we say, you just type in what you want. Everything is copy and paste. But you do this so that you can actually get the offers and find out of your 10 dealers, who are the 2 that are the best priced. That's the whole goal. So you need that to get a great lease deal, a big discount from the winning dealer, and then you need a good lease program. That's what dictates where you're going to fall in that spectrum. You can't get below 1% without a ridiculous lease program. They really want to move the car, but 1.2%, 1.3%, these are happening all day long on cars that you all day long. All right, next question, Dolan. All right, Deshone, I bought the book and followed your instructions for lease deals. I got a 1% deal quote. It's the best system. Buy the book. Best $24 you can spend, right? Precision Sound. See, I swear when I was putting the book together, I priced it at $97 because I said this book is going to save somebody so much money. It's not fair to have it priced like other books. I got tons of books here. I'll be honest with you. Not many of these books have actually saved me thousands of dollars. A couple of them have. A couple of them strategy, but they serve a different purpose in my life. This will be the book that you look at and say, that book right there saved me thousands and thousands of dollars. So that's the reason why it's $97. But you know what? I'm an author. I said, let's do a special thing. Everybody who jumps on the welcome offer, you could get it for the price of a regular book. There you go. But I'm glad. 1% lease deal. Congratulations. Great job. Enjoy it. Enjoy it. All right, next question, Dolan. Can you use your system out of state? Ted, great question. You're going to find that you're going to become very comfortable dealing with dealers out of state. Because, and I'm going to tell you the truth, a lot of dealers that are close to you, when they see your zip code, they've already determined and made up in their mind how much they're going to discount, or if they're even going to discount, based on where you live. If you're 20 minutes from them, why do I need to give you a discount when I know the average person shops 2 dealers before they buy? Now, I don't want you to be average. Let the average people get average deals and above market deals, but you're not going to get below market deals doing average things. I'm going to say that again. You're not going to get below market deals doing average things. Most dealers know, this is NADA research. This is the company that studies car buyers. People shop 2 dealers and then they buy. So if I'm sitting here watching you and I see a zip code, I'm not going to give you a great, especially if I'm an 80% dealer, forget it. But when you start talking to these dealers that are 45 minutes away from you, an hour away from you, now they'll never see you without the online tools. And what we want to do is these smaller dealers that are usually that don't have the foot traffic, we want to give them the opportunity because they want to be able to compete with the dealers in the city. And if it's up to walking in, they'll never have that opportunity. But when it's online shopping, they get the same opportunities, and they will sometimes take that opportunity and make sure they beat their competition. Going back to Sean's deal, very important to see this. Sean posted in our groups. We have a private group. He said, I haven't seen the other. I said, I haven't seen the other offers. This is when he showed me he was saving 20 grand. And he said, you know, what do you think about this? I said, you're saving 20 grand. But I said, I don't know what the other offers are. Because what if you could save 25? Don't get excited about one offer. You got to get 5. I sold a car, a Maybach, and years ago, it had a $20,000 rebate on it. What if this car had a $20,000 rebate? We don't know. So he said, look, I got 15 offers. See, the difference is when you're using an online system, you sit at home and you start learning how to go on these dealers' websites, copy and paste what you want and get these offers. You're going to be like, dang, I could get 5 more offers just like that. So he got 15 offers. Now check this out. This is what's important about this question you just asked, Ted. I couldn't find anything under MSRP locally. He expanded his search to 150 miles and he found this deal. So a dealer that was over 100 miles away from him made him this offer. None of the dealers close. Very important. So you want to get comfortable shopping out of state. And when you know how to do it the right way, especially on new cars and leases, it's easy because it's new cars. They're cookie cutter. You know, everyone has the same. Little bit more precision when you're buying a used car. But even that, don't be scared. We've had plenty of people drive an hour to get a used car, hour and a half. If that's where the best price used car is, if I'm saving $4,000, I'm gonna go over there. I'm gonna get a hotel room for $60, and I'm gonna get my car. That's it. I'm going to where the money is, not staying here because I want to be comfortable and I'll just pay more because I just want to be convenient. You know what I'm saying? Great question, though. Go ahead, Dolan. Next question. Stephen, you clicked that picture of me. He said, what do I click to get the book? Click that picture of me. Even on Instagram, there's a picture of me at the top. And you can go right to that website and you'll see a button at the top that says get the book for 75% off. So get your book before the 30 minutes is up so you can get your 75% off. This is Thomas on Facebook. What's your opinion on military members using this method? I move every 3 to 4 years. So do you think it's wise to get rid of my car note to own and lease? It's a great question. You need at least 3 years. If it's 3 years, that's fine. I don't want you trying to worry about breaking a lease contract 2 years in, or a year and a half in. If I knew it was shorter than that, then I wouldn't be investing a lot of money in cars. I'd have like a, $10,000 car, $8,000 car, because you can't replace cars that fast. Some of you know I do this all the time. I show you, this is the depreciation scale. Whenever you see this, you think unseen. This is the unseen expense, the depreciation scale. This is why when you buy a car for $30,000 today, what is it worth tomorrow? If you buy a car for $30,000 today, I want to teach you how to see the hidden money. I call this the hidden money, the unseen expense. You buy a car for $30,000 today, what's it worth tomorrow? Throw some numbers out there. Let's see Instagram. I'm just talking 24 hours later. You bring the car back 24 hours later. Is it still worth $30,000? Right? Look, iHeart said 22. Maybe not that much the next day, but you could be. You could be 25, 29. Look, it's worth less, right? So now that's the beginning. Now you park that car outside your driveway a year. Don't touch it. Don't drive it. You paid $30,000 for it. Come back a year later. What's it worth? Now we're getting into those 25s, 22, 20. Look, you never drove it. You didn't drive it one single mile. That's what we are. And look, that's happening the first 5 years that you have the car. Now, there's one exception, Thomas, if I'm you. If I can get 3 to 4 years, I'm leasing. No doubt about it. 3 to 4 years, I'm leasing. Now, your goal is to, if you got to make a move, you don't want to lose money and you don't want to have a bunch of negative equity. So what you can do, what I would suggest you do, if you don't have the 3 years, then I would buy a pre-owned car. I wouldn't even go with a $10,000 one. I just make sure I get a great price on a pre-owned car, so that with pre-owned cars, you can swap out and you don't lose. Compared to someone who's leasing, though, you will, because you're going to pay about the same amount they're going to pay, but they're going to have a brand new car and you're going to have a used one. But that's the risk you have to take, because if you try to lease and then you end up having to get out of it in a year, no, can't break that contract that easily and you're going to lose money. So if you got 3 years, I'd lease for sure. If you only got 2, then I get a great deal on a pre-owned car. And then that way I'm safe. If I do need to get out of it, I can sell it and probably break even within a 2-year period, because it's not going to depreciate as much as a used car. I mean, as much as a new car. Okay? If you got 3-4 years, man, lease. When a lot of you, when you realize I'm not talking to you who are keeping cars 8 years. If you have a car outside your house for 8 years or longer, type me. Matter of fact, type K. We call that a keeper. You've got to be able to distinguish the difference in these scenarios. Anything outside your house for longer than 8 years is a keeper. We're not even comparing leasing. But when your kids come to you and say, Mom, Dad, I want a car, we don't automatically make them this is going to be a keeper. You're going to keep this thing for 8, 9, 10 years. No, I'm not. I'm going to keep this car maybe 5 years. Okay, then you should be leasing. Okay, your spouse. Me and my wife did it all the time. We had one car that we bought. That was the Pontiac G6. And then we would lease a car and we would rotate the lease. So you can have both. But the key is knowing every time you're about to buy a car, the first question is, how many years am I keeping the car? And if it's not 8, then you should be shopping for great lease deals. If it's 8 or more, then you should be buying. Very simple rules, boundaries based on numbers. All right. Go ahead, shoot the next one up, Dolan. Great question, Thomas. And anybody who's in that situation, that's a good strategy for you guys to follow. YouTube, 6 months left on my 36-month lease, 12,000 miles per year. Things came up and I had to use the car every day, 99,000 miles so far. What can I do? You pay. Now, what you can do is you're going to do an equity assessment. There's 3 ways you're going to work that you compare this. 3 ways, and you're trying to see which one is you're going to bite a bullet because you use the mileage. And again, I want to make it clear, had you purchased the car and put that same amount of mileage on it, your value of your car wouldn't have been like this. That's the average driver. Average driver, their value is dropping like this. That's average. You lose, a couple thousand every year, 5,000. You lose percentages. 20% the first year, 15%, 10%, 12%, 10%. That's the average driver. If you bought it, you'd have lost probably 25% in 1 year based on the way you drive. So it's not a matter of, I leased, I shouldn't have leased. No, this is what happens if you don't cater the lease to the lifestyle. And sometimes you have a lifestyle change, but it doesn't change the fact we have to account for the mileage you use. So we're going to do an equity assessment. You're going to see, if I sold this car, because the reason you're going to do this first is because you want to see what the highest bidders would pay. CarMax, Driveway. This is step 2 in my book, equity assessment. CarMax, Driveway, Carvana, Kelly's Blue Book, instant cash offer. Do not use Blue Book. Please do not come to me talking about what Blue Book said your car is worth. We don't use algorithm sites. We get real offers. Cash offers is all that matters to us. Okay? Kelly's Blue Book, instant cash offer. AutoNation, sell my car, and Car Guru, sell my car. That's 6 offers. And you're going to get that after you get your payoff. Now, you're going to see how upside down you are. And once you see that, okay, I'm upside down, How many miles did you contract for? Oh, 12,000 miles a year. Okay, so all right. So once you see, all right, my highest offer is 23,000, but your payoff might be, 30. Then that means you're $7,000 upside down. So now you can compare paying that money to now saying, all right, well, what happens if I return the car? Now, this is the second scenario. First scenario, when your over mileage is selling it. What does that look like? Second scenario is actually taking the mileage penalty, because I just told you $7,000 is the bill over there. In that scenario, mileage penalty, you contracted for 36,000 miles and you got 99 on it. So 99.8 minus 36,000 miles, you 63,000 miles over, and you're probably going to be charged 25 cents per mile. So that's a $16,000 mileage penalty that's coming if you stayed to the end. So that's why you want to compare selling, paying the difference. If you got some cash on hand, that would be the best way to do it. Now, the last thing that you can do, which is, see, I don't like these scenarios because these are negative equity scenarios with leases, and we really shouldn't. Besides an emergency, we really should not be in negative equity situations with leases, only finances. But your last scenario is, once you see how much your car is worth from the offers, you're now going to try to roll that negative equity over and get someone to pay the bill and wrap the new deal with the negative equity. So you're going to get bids for whatever car you want to replace it with. I got whatever car. Let's just say you're looking for a Jeep Grand Cherokee. You get bids, get your best offer, and then you're going to tell them, hey, I got this old car here with this type of penalty. I need to wrap it into this deal. That's 7,000 or 8,000. That's why you got to know what the market value is. Before you do this, you have to know what the market value is based on offers, so that you know, all right, I got to slap another $7,000 on top of whatever my best deal is, so that I don't get the bill. So if you can pay the bill, pay the bill. If you can't pay the bill, then you need to roll it into the next deal. But the last thing you want to do is drop that car off without doing what I'm telling you, because once that car is grounded, the bill is generated. It's nothing out of it. So everything you have to do is now, because if you ground that car with that mileage, the bill is automatically coming. There's nothing you can do to get out of it. So follow those steps, do the equity assessment. And when you're on those websites I just told you about, if you have a lease, it's going to ask you, are you leasing, financing, or own? Put own. I'm just telling you. And I'm telling you, if you have my book, I explain why you must do that, but I don't have the time to go into detail of why you must do that right now. Okay, just when you're on those websites, put own. And if you have my book, then I'll be walking you through this step by step. But you're more, if this ever happens again, you guys look at this early. You look at this when you're a little bit over miles, not this much over miles. And listen, I know you may have not known, maybe I understand, but for future reference, we want to choose our mileage carefully. And if we find ourselves going over by thousands and thousands of miles, we want to make a move and do this same scenario sooner than later. Okay? Best thing I can tell you. You got to bite the bullet. We just need to find the smallest bullet to bite. Okay? All right, next question, Dolan. That's a good one. Common situation. All right. All right, go ahead, Dolan. All right, here we go. This is Ted. A couple other things real quick. I'm upside down in my current car loan, but the payment is cool. Still want the same or lower payment on the next purchase. Is this covered in the book? By the way, I already copied the book just in case I have to pivot. Wonderful. Wonderful. So, I think you said you were switching to a lease, right, Ted? But you're upside down. So if you are in a finance, what you're going to find with great lease deals is you can usually switch, and if you use what's in that book, get your great lease deal, you'll usually even bring in some negative equity over, you're still going to be in a comfortable payment range, because a purchase is so much higher than a great lease deal. So a purchase, unless you put a ton of money down, a purchase is just so much but you can't control that. All you can do is do your equity assessment, like I'll walk you through in the book, and then determine what you're going to do with the negative equity. Pay the difference or transfer it. And once you're transferring, you get your bids, and then you bring your negative equity on top and you see what it is. There's no point in worrying about what you can't control. But I can tell you that most times, switching from a lease to a finance to a lease, you're getting more car and you're usually dropping your payment, especially if you buy new cars. If you buy new cars, forget it. You're dropping your payment dramatically. So you can still move negative equity over. But even on used cars, you're going to see that just going from a finance, you saw the scenarios. If you were here at the beginning of the show when I started those 3 scenarios, you saw how different the payments were. So that lease gives you so much room to customize, bring over some negative equity, and still be better payment-wise than purchasing. Okay? So yeah, keep me posted, man. Make sure you send me your success story. Thomas just got the book. When will the next session be for the step-by-step breakdown? I don't do a step-by-step breakdown. Look, I'm talking to the public, and here's what I won't do, because it's just not fair. I'm not going to spend a lot of time talking to people who have the book, because the book is step by step. Every now and then, Dolan pulls a question in, great, but I'm talking to people who don't have the book. I'm not going to make the whole show talking to people who have the book, because quite honestly, like I said, I got a lot of books up here. I can't talk to one of these authors. If I'm reading something from, this author over here, but the book is set up in a step-by-step way. So just use it and win with it. All right. Go ahead. Shoot the next question up, Dolan. It just would be corny. That'd be corny. Oh, he's only talking to people that got his book. No, we're not doing that. DJ Flair, YouTube. I haven't gotten APR under 1.4 on a lease. Should I settle? How many offers do you have? Now I'm looking at the comment section, DJ Flair. I need you, if you're going to ask a short question and then I'm asking you a follow-up question, I need you to type fast. And that's a quick look. Number, send. 3, send. 1, send. You know what I'm saying? I can't spend too much time if you're not right close to your keyboard. So okay, let's put it like this. If you don't have, I see you, Coach Troy. Thank you so much. Thank you to the people who support the broadcast too. I appreciate it. And shout out to the sharers. Shout out to the sharers. I see you, Body Gang Nunu. Thanks for everybody that's sharing the broadcast. Your friends will be mad at you if they find out you've been using this stuff and you didn't tell them, especially your best friend, your closest friend. If you've been using this stuff and you didn't tag them, go ahead. Go ahead, type your question, Coach Troy. We'll get to you. All right, I don't think with DJ Flair's tap back in. So here's the thing. The only time we're settling on any lease is when we have at least 5 offers. Because when you shop the right way, and anyone who shopped using my stuff can attest to this, when you shop the right way, you're going to see on a regular lease, any vehicle you name, you're going to see $150 to $200 a month difference. I told y'all, I'm not just telling you 80% of dealers are overpriced. You're going to prove it to yourself. 80% of dealers are overpriced, and you're going to prove it to yourself when you look at all those offers and you see that one dealer is at $450, another dealer is at $490, another dealer is at $530, another dealer is at $590, another dealer is at $6. We've been doing this. I've been working with people since 2021. I got over 1,600 people in my personal, coaching program, and we got thousands of people that have the book. So when we get the offers, that's what we see. So the only way we will settle on a 1.4% lease is if we know that's the lowest offer in the market. And the only way we know it's the lowest offer in the market is I'm looking at the other lease deals. Oh, that one's 1.5. That one's 1.7. That one's 1.75. That one's 1.8. Now I know 1.4 is the deal. Let me get this up out of here. This is a great deal on this particular car. That's the only way. Okay. Next question, Dolan. Great question. I'm on the fence about joining maps for my truck purchase. Can you elaborate on how it's different than following the book? I don't even talk about maps on here. Maps is Maps is my book and video with me coaching and Zoom calls and a private Facebook group. Totally different. And again, that's another reason why I can't get too big into giving questions and answers. Look, the book is there. It's $24. It's step by step. People have used it, gotten to success. That's why we're rated 5 stars, 4.94. But that's why we're rated high. That's why people are writing me. Look, we just got this today. So when I get this stuff like that, the only time I'm going to engage with thousands of people who got the book is when I know the book is not really complete. It's not complete, but we know the book's complete. So when Tiffany sends me this, look, I just got this from Tiffany. Look, I believe we got a great deal. Look, 2024 Mazda CX-90, $44,820 on the sticker. Discount was $6,530. That's ridiculous. That was her best offer of all her bids. $65,000. She saved 15% off the price of the car. Brand new car. She just sent me this. So some people are like, Deshone, you know what? I can follow the book. This is my thing. You laid it out step by step. Step 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 is delivery. Step 7 is literally getting ready for delivery. So, but Maps is totally different. Maps is the program I launched in 2021 that I work personally with people. We do coaching calls, and we and everything in the book is in video form. So you're not reading, you're just watching step-by-step video. So you could email me about that, and we can talk about that another time. All right? You get what's right for you. Go ahead. Next one, Dolan. All right. What if you drive too many miles daily? You just pick your miles. You choose your miles wisely. You can see, here's what I want you to understand. Now, if you were on the show a little earlier, we talked about how you're going to pay whether you, and bring in, Dolan, can you bring in Coach Troy's question on TikTok? Here's what you have to be very clear on. You pay for the miles whether you purchase or lease. That's why I want you to think about that. Depreciation scale. If I drive 0 miles, my car is worth less in a year. If I drive average miles, it's worth less in a year. If I drive high miles, it's worth less in a year. Ain't got nothing to do with whether you leased it or you bought it. If you bought it, that's what's happening. So the purpose of the lease is to know I'm not keeping my car 8 years. So I'm going to look to replace the car while it's dropping in value like this. If I buy it, this is year 1, this is year 2, this is year 3, this is year 4. Once you get about year 6, it starts to round out. You're losing less value, year 7, year 8. But you still need to catch up to the person who leased because they haven't put all this money in the car that you have. That's why it's the 8-year rule. But if you're like, Deshone, I know I'm not keeping the car 8 years. Your goal is to beat the depreciation in. How do I get a car without taking this type of loss? That's a lease. That's a great lease deal. Not an average lease deal, not these commercials. None of these lease deals y'all saw in the show today was based on a commercial. Nothing. They were probably thousands better. Do never look at commercials and think, oh, that's a lease deal. Absolutely not. Absolutely not. So what you're going to do is you're going to assess your miles, see how much you drive to work and back, how many days a week, and you're going to add that up over the year, and you're going to come up with a number. And if it's $18,000 a year, great. I worked for Hyundai for 6 weeks, and I keep the story short, but I worked for them for 6 weeks. I was a manager there. Owner ended up getting indicted. Straight up highway dealer. Like I would never, it's the only dealer where I said, whoa, this ain't for me. No way. Got out of there in 6 weeks. Gave them their car back that they had me driving. I said, I appreciate it. God bless you. So I end up getting, I had a person who was dropping off their lease. And I was doing the paperwork to ground the lease for them. Hey, I was doing the work to ground the paperwork, and to ground the lease, and I saw that he had like 70,000 miles on the car. And I said, "You lease this?" He said, "Yeah, and I always lease." I said, "Wait, you in sales?" No, he told me. He said, "Yeah, I'm in sales. I drive over 20,000 miles a year. I used to buy my cars, and I just be, all this negative equity. I had to put big down payments. I just, once somebody showed me about leasing, I never stop. I pay my payment, I bring it back after 3 years, get a new one every 3 years." I said, "Wow, that's crazy." Then I looked at his payment, and I saw his payment was only like $150 a month more than a normal payment. It wasn't $500 more a month. It was $150, $175 more to get the additional mileage that he needed. I said, "Man, I'm telling everybody about this," because I had high mileage drivers coming in with same amount of mileage on that he had, 70, 80,000 miles, except they bought it. And now I'm like, "Hey, you got like 12,000 negative equity because your car, you got so many miles on it." And they're like, "Yeah, I know." So before I learned that about high mileage leases, that's what I used to do. I didn't understand it, but now forget it. And that was back in that was 2016. So everything I've learned, I bring it to the public, and I've learned from seeing bad scenarios. So no matter how many miles you drive, as long as you're not doing like Uber or Turo or something where you're renting the car, you're just putting like as many miles as you can on it a year, and you don't really know how much you're going to put on. As long as that's not the case, it's predictable, then for sure. I have 2 strategies in my book for high mileage drivers that don't keep cars 8 years. 2 strategies: high mileage lease, and then something I call 2 cars, 1 payment. High mileage lease, 2 cars, 1 payment, where you split the mileage. You have 1 car you buy, and then you pay that car off, and then you have 1 nice car that you lease, 12,000 miles, and you just split the miles. Either way, stop buying. And now, one more thing, and put the next question up, Dolan. Now, if you're a high mileage driver and you are an 8-year person, great, no reason to lease. There's plenty of cars out there. You buy a car that you can drive 25, 30,000 miles a year. That'll last you 8 years. No reason to lease. See, if you are keeping your cars 8+ years, forget about leasing. If the person who you want to shop for is 8+ years, no reason to lease. I'm only talking to you who are like 6 years, 5 years. Deshaun, I'm not keeping it 8 years. You are the ones losing thousands of dollars by not leasing. All right, I see you. I see you. All right, so this is Coach Troy from TikTok. And we're live, y'all. Just in case you know, we're live for a couple more minutes. This is our 7 p.m. live. We whenever you don't see the banner on top, you know it's live. Whenever you see, because we rebroadcast these shows because a lot of people can't make them, so you can catch them on pretty much any of our platforms. You can watch the replay, watch the rebroadcast. But we are absolutely live right now. So for a couple more minutes, you can type your questions. This is Coach Troy from TikTok. I have a lease now. My lease is up in June. My credit fell to 573. Can I go for a finance? What I do is I get a smart car right now, saving money at the right time. Now, if you have a strong car payment history, that weighs on your profile. Mercedes, tell y'all a story about Mercedes. Mercedes, if you pay Mercedes, your whole world could be crashing down. They'll approve you again. So I would have people come in and say, Deshaun, or they'll call me and say, Deshaun, my credit's not where it was when I got the Mercedes a couple years ago. What do you think? I said, well, how was the payments on the Mercedes? I never missed one. You're good. Maxed out credit cards don't matter. They look at that. So if you paid the car payment, I go for a lease. If you missed a couple car payments, but if you missed a couple car payments, I'd go for maybe a less expensive lease. Possibly 573 is tough. You need a lot of stuff to weigh, because I have something I teach. It's about profile, not just about score. So profile is how long you've been on your job, the money you make. Probably the 2 biggest indicators are payment history and credit score. But outside of that, that's not all it's based off of. So you got to kind of look and say, all right, if my credit score is low, do I have anything else on my profile that makes the profile look attractive? That could be, you know, that's usually either a car payment that you paid on time, or um, you only missed a few payments and they dropped your score low. If you got like 60, 90-day lates, then I would tell you, okay, let's get an inexpensive car, $10,000 car, get something small. I call this a smart car. In my book, I refer to this as a smart car, saving money at the right time. Now, this is a setup car because you're in a rebuild. So your goal is to get the smallest car possible because you pay for size. You don't want to go out and get a huge SUV because you're going to pay for size. If you get something that was brand new, 25,000, I would get it, finance it, try not to get something too old. But the only way you're going to need to get something old is if you're trying to buy an expensive vehicle. If you're trying to buy a Jeep Grand Cherokee that's $45,000 brand new and you're trying to get it for 10 grand, you're going to need it. Old one. And that's usually a sign that we're looking at too much car. So, but if you need an SUV, that's different. But your goal is to sacrifice, get the least expensive quality car. It must last 2 years. Hit the payment history on point. Don't miss a payment, and then you would switch to a lease. So I don't know enough about your scenario, but I kind of gave you a little bit. And in my book is the details of this, the smart car strategy, and shopping for a lease and looking at your credit profile. So based on where you're at, you make your move. But either way, it's fine. It's not the end of the world. Tons of people are going to be rebuilding now. Just make sure you're doing it right so that you don't set yourself back with your next car. You want to set yourself up. And a lot of people, when they're in a tough situation, they make another decision that actually sets them back. Okay? Go ahead. Next question, Dolan. Okay, I see. High prime BMW lease. Thanks, Coach. Forget about the gifts. Just get the book. I appreciate you sending the gifts, but I'd rather you have the book because I want you to win. Okay, take that all that money you just gave on the show, and I appreciate it, and get your book so you can make sure that you win for the rest of your life with cars. But thank you. Go ahead. This one's YouTube. Where's Instagram at? Instagram, y'all quiet this evening. Y'all started out the show with a lot of questions, and now y'all quiet. Let's go, Instagram. Type your question. And the thing about Instagram is, if you hit that little paper airplane next to the comment box, you can share this with like 30 of your friends. And I guarantee you, every single one of them will thank you. Every single one of them. We don't dance. We don't tell jokes over here. All we do is talk big money. Guarantee they'll thank you. So, all right. This one, Diana from YouTube. Am I liable for a vehicle that I didn't take possession of? If the paperwork has been sealed, signed, the bank has been notified, if there's a bank involved, you can be, just because you didn't pick it up, but you would have had to sign all paperwork and basically have them turn that paperwork in, which would start the motor vehicle processing, where they're going to register the car in your name. Once this process has moved forward, whether you took the car or not, that vehicle is linked to you. In which case, yes, you are liable. But it depends. I hate buyer's remorse. Buyer's remorse sucks, y'all. Buyer's remorse you only get buyer's remorse two ways. You got a bad car or you got a bad price, or both. So you need boundaries to get good cars, quality cars. Choose the right cars that you're gonna like, gonna love, gonna enjoy, so that you don't regret the car. Boundaries to make sure you get a quality car, not a car that's gonna be in the shop, not a car that's gonna break down. Boundaries. You need strategy to make sure you actually get enough offers, so when you accept the offer, you paid the lowest price possible. Offers. So those two things, two types of buyer's remorse: the car and the price. The car, that you're shopping, how you shop, choosing cars, taking your time, knowing what websites to go to make sure the car is quality, going to test drive the cars if you're leasing or buying a new car. That's the shopping boundaries. That's how you make sure you don't get a bad car. When you're looking at a used car, narrowing it down, title history, service records, accident history, and then the strategies. The other buyer's remorse is, I don't like the price. I think I could have paid less. I think I'm overpaying. I'm not comfortable. That comes from getting bids and looking at multiple offers. Got to use this. If you don't use this, that's going to continue. It's impossible for you to eliminate that without those two strategies. Boundaries, shopping strategy. Okay? I hate buyer's remorse. Go ahead. No problem, Coach Troy. I appreciate you. Go ahead, Dolan. Next one. Okay. Oh, we got another success story. Let's go. Okay. Thank you, Gina. YouTube success story. Just ordered a 2024 BMW X3 M40 for almost $4K off MSRP plus $3K military discount. Would have never thought about this being possible. Followed your car shopping for people who hate car shopping book. Don't make me drop the microphone up in here. Gina, $7,000 she's saving from home, getting bids. See, look, I love this. I love this. This is empowerment right here. Forget all that other stuff. Forget all the other stuff. Is if you use something and it does not save you money, throw it out. But you got to use it. I knew that if you're willing to use what's in my book, if you are willing to take it, trust my process, these are the results. You don't have to be me. You don't have to be Deshone. Gina's not me. Gina didn't even know about this a month ago. Got the book, used the step-by-steps, saving $7,000 off a brand new BMW M40. X3 M40. Come on. Come on. Congratulations. Enjoy it. Great job. I had dealers beating other dealers' prices. I see. Come on. That's the language that I want you talking. That's empowerment right there. There's no buyer's remorse. There's no potential for buyer's remorse. How? I got dealers competing. Yo, all right, you the best right here. You won. The heck? There's no room for buyer's remorse when people were competing, jumping through hoops. Hey, pick me. Here's my offer. Here's my offer. Here's my offer. Come on. All right. I love it. Good job, Gina. Okay, to everyone else who's like, what book did she use? That's my new digital book. It's called Cars from Home. It was originally called Car Shopping for people that hate car shopping, but now it's called Cars from Home. 7 steps to saving time, money, and avoiding dealerships. Has all my templates for new cars, used cars, leases, everything in there. And it's normally $97, but in my TikTok bio, you can get yours for 75% off. In my Instagram bio, click that link and then get your book. You'll pay $24 instead of $97. And in Facebook, YouTube, we got the comments. We got a comment pinned for you guys to get it. Go to deshonesbook.com right there on the screen. Or if you're watching us on TV, you can just scan that QR code with your mobile phone. I want the success stories. I love the success stories. Love it. All right, go ahead, Dolan. We got a couple more minutes. Go ahead. Next one. Okay, this one's Maria from Instagram. Apologies. I had to serial earlier, so I probably missed the answer. Do we include the fees into the payments when calculating the 1.5% rule? Absolutely. Now, the simple way is you don't have to worry about the fees. You're getting offers. Here's all that's important, Maria, when we're getting our lease offers. Total out of pocket is first month's payment only. If someone submits a deal with no first month's payment, you $2,000, $3,000, because some of them will do that. Can you please, resend the offer with just first month's payment? Then 12,000 miles per year. Then we're getting at least 5 offers. And then what we're doing is we're dividing the monthly payment into the MSRP. Dividing the monthly payment into the MSRP, not the selling price. Doesn't matter the selling price. The selling price is what affects the percentage. That affects the percentage. You need the MSRP so you can judge the deal. MSRP. Divide that into the MSRP. That's all you need to know when looking at lease offers. So I can look at 20 lease offers from 20 different people, As long as they are using the format that I told them to submit me the offer in, I can compare 20 offers in 60 seconds, maybe 2 minutes. Boom, 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 boom. All right, this dealer made the best offer. Very simple. Don't worry about fees with leases. Just do those percentages. Everything else will slow you down. All right, great question. All right, wasn't it fun? Look, Precision Soundworks said, wasn't it fun following his steps? I just gotta put that on it. Listen, this kid, oh man, come on. Wasn't it fun following his steps? Because you're in control. You're in control. It's fun being in control when you've been buying cars. You've been out of control for all your life. You felt intimidated. You felt like, oh, they're going to get over on me. I'm going to say the wrong thing. I'm going to do the wrong thing. Now it's the total opposite. You're in control. So it becomes fun. My man. I love it. All right, go ahead, Dolan. Okay, this one's from TikTok. My brother totaled my car with only liability insurance. What should I do? Talk to the insurance company. Being underinsured is a real thing. That's called exposed. You're out there with exposure. So liability insurance, yeah, and hopefully it was a very inexpensive car, like a $3,000, $4,000 car. You know, I hope you weren't. You know, hope it wasn't like a $10,000, $12,000, $15,000, $20,000 car. This is why insurance exists. I'm sorry to tell you, like that's some of the worst scenarios. But you know, being underinsured is a real thing. You know, so make sure you're using. I use a company called Insurify.com or Jerry to shop insurance. It shops all the companies for me because you should be shopping for car insurance every single time your car insurance is up. And you know, but yeah, you got to be properly insured because these things happen. Say, look, gap insurance. A lot of people don't know. People will say, "Oh, I won't buy gap insurance," or they'll say, "When I go into the office, never say no to everything." Well, if you needed gap insurance or you needed the right coverage, we either get it from the dealer or we call our insurance company. There's other insurance companies that sell gap insurance, but before we get it from the dealer, we'll call our insurance company or we'll go online. But if you total your car and you owe 25, but the car's net value was 20, you got a $5,000 bill coming. Totaled your car, lost your car. Now here comes a $5,000 bill. Hey, what happened? Gap, exposed. So this insurance thing is very real. So please make sure. I mean, I hope it works out for you, but make sure you have proper insurance coverage. All right, go ahead, Dolan. All right. Great questions. Great questions. All right. This one's Thomas. I have come to an end of my lease. A new lease is too much for me. The buyout is about $25K. Give me some options. Unless you got 5 offers, that doesn't mean anything. See, the problem is you didn't get 5 offers. So you probably got a lease quote from an 80% dealer who you've been buying cars from, leasing cars from. You come in, hey, what's a new one going to cost me? They're trying to keep you high based on three years ago. Everybody was overpaying and they're trying to keep you high. They're trying to keep their profit. And you look and saying, wow, the new one's 700. Nah, I can't do that. I guess I'm going to do something different. Meanwhile, when you start getting bids, you'll see that maybe the best deal on that is 500. See, all of these deals that I'm showing you guys, you got to understand something. These are not deals that people are getting by walking into dealers. Look, this is Charles. He got a Hyundai Palisade, top 10 most popular SUVs in the country. $48,000 vehicle, $597 a month. $597 a month. Listen, and just so y'all know, we live right now. This is not a replay. So we are straight live. I want you to know when we're live and when you're watching a rebroadcast. Okay? Like, understand, this doesn't happen walking into a dealership. So when I usually hear questions like this, oh, I'm gonna buy the lease out, or hey, there's no deal, you know, the new lease payments are too high. No one who's getting multiple offers are saying that, because what you would be doing is you would be flipping to another vehicle. Before I go from leasing which is a value play. Leasing is driving brand new cars for pennies on the dollar. To go from that to buying a used car is an entirely different thing. Buying your lease is buying a used car. So when you do that, Alexis, just go to deshonesbook.com. Just type it into your browser. So when you do that, you're switching totally different strategies. But what I would do if there's a bad lease program, if let's say I've been leasing Mercedes-Benz for years and I go to get another one and I do all my offers and I see, oh, this is a bad lease program. It's over 1.5, 1.6, 1.7. No thanks. I'm going to go to my plan B car. I'm going to look at it, a plan B car, because every single vehicle has a different lease program. And sometimes you'll look at one vehicle and you'll think, oh, this is all leases. No, that's one vehicle. That's not even all leases in this dealership. This vehicle has a different lease program than this one. This trim level has a different lease program than that trim level. They're all different. So when we get locked in on one overpriced lease, especially if we didn't get 5 quotes like I teach. So no, that is the strategy. So you just said, give me some options, please. Here's your options. Get 5 offers. If they're all over 1.5%, next vehicle, pick another vehicle. Get 5 offers. If those are over 1.5%, pick another vehicle. Eventually, you're going to find a vehicle that has a great lease deal, and you're going to say, okay, this is it. They're all different. If you're using my book, you can do this in 60 minutes. Your first time using this, it'll probably take you 90 minutes to do the process. Second time, you should be around 60. I want you guys, by the time you use this 2-3 times, you'll be getting car. I can get any car I want, get the best offer, look at the whole market in 60 minutes, 45 minutes, 60 minutes. So that's not going to be your first time. 90 minutes probably the first time. But this is 90 minutes. By the time, that's not one trip to the grocery store. It's not even one trip to the grocery store. All right, y'all. We've been on for an hour and 18 minutes. We like to keep these lives around an hour and 15. We're going to wrap. We'll be back. Listen, this is what we do. Shout out to the surprise success stories. Thank y'all to everybody who spent some time with us. Everything that I taught tonight, everything I taught today is out of my new book. It's called Cars from Home, 7 Steps to Saving Time, Money, and Avoiding Dealerships. It's the science of shopping from home online the right way. There's tons of people who will try to shop online. There are car sales people who have mastered the science of not giving quotes online, making it hard to buy online. So the same way when people were walking into the dealer, car salesmen got trained on how to handle you. The same way they saw millions of people go to the internet, they created internet sales departments to get trained on what? How to handle you. So you need a strategy to make sure that you're doing this the right way, getting bids. You don't have to be a great negotiator when you're great at getting bids. And that's what the book is about. So you can get your copy for 75% off. It's $24 in my TikTok bio or my Instagram bio or the link in the comments on YouTube or Facebook. And if you're watching us on TV, just scan that QR code with your phone. But we'll be back sometime tomorrow, depending on when you're watching. And this is what we do. Let's keep saving this money. All right. God bless. And thank you to everybody that got the book. Email me your success stories. I want to see more success stories. All right. God bless you.
The worst possible thing you could say when you walk into a car dealership. I spent 5 years with Mercedes-Benz, 5 with General Motors, and the worst thing a person could say when they walk in is, if you could just get me to this payment, we got a deal.
So your loan's probably still like 19, which means you got to pay to get out. You're upside down. It's called negative equity.
Welcome everybody to episode 11 of Car Shopping Questions and Answers. I'm your host, Deshone the Auto Advisor. I'm just sharing the broadcast onto Facebook. We're live on all 4 platforms: TikTok, Instagram, YouTube, and Facebook. We do these shows throughout the day, and we do lives. If you see the banner above me, that means you're watching a replay. If you don't see the banner, that means we're live. You guys can start sending your questions in, and we will get down to the order of business, which is making sure that you have the inside strategies, the best strategies to car shopping online so that you can get below market deals. Good to see you, Miss Brooklyn. I see you on TikTok. Let me pull up Instagram. I like to see my Instagram comments. I got my man Dolan in the back moderating, and so he'll be pulling your questions in as you type them. If this is your first time on a live with me, can you type the number 1? First time ever on a live with us, can you type the number 1? And everybody who's been here, if you've been here before, can you type the word welcome so we can give a welcome to the first timers in here, to the people who've been here before. We got a lot of first time people. Good to see you. All right. And type a welcome to everybody who's been here before. Now, I always say you should share this with at least your best friend, because they will get upset with you if you start using these strategies, when you start using them and getting below market deals and they're out there fending on their own and overpaying. All right. So share this with your best friend. Now, just some housekeeping. I am the author of the new book, Cars from Home, 7 steps, not 70, 7 steps to saving time, money, and avoiding dealerships. We're rated 4.94 on Goodreads.com. So I appreciate all of you who have helped us get to this rating. I'm showing it right here. I think right now we're up to 35 ratings and 28 reviews. I appreciate everyone who's taking the time to review the book. So appreciate it. Everyone can get your copy of Cars from Home, my digital book, in my TikTok bio for 75% off. It's normally $97. You can also get it in my Instagram bio. And then we have a comment in the Facebook and YouTube section pinned so that you can get your copy for 75% off. And we also have the banner for those of you who are watching us on TV. You can simply scan that QR code with your phone to get your 75% off. It'll be in your inbox in 3-4 minutes. Now, something very important to know, that's only for 30 minutes. Once you visit that site, you'll see the 30-minute timer. Once it goes to 0, the price does go back up to $97. So get your book before the 30 minutes. All right. So come on in. Dolan, whenever we get the first question, you guys can start. We can start bringing them in. And what I always say is type your questions fast. Stay by your keyboards because we like to dialogue with you while you're on the show with us. Okay. Carm from TikTok said, would there be any benefit for me in turning my lease in early if I'm going to finance my next car? No, because a lease is a contract. So if when you set out, like with a finance, you could switch it in any time. So finance, it's your prerogative whether you want to, sell that car. Some of you may have been taught you had to kind of have your car. Some of you may have been taught you had to wait and basically have your title before you could sell the car. That's not true. You can sell a car that you own anytime you want, whether there's a loan on it or not. Now, in the case of a lease, it's not like that. You have a set term, usually 36 months, 39 months. We don't do 4-year leases. And so unless you can sell that car and break even through what we call the equity assessment process, where you're going to get cash offers, then no, there's not only is there no benefit, there will be penalties to you doing that. So that's the only way to get out of a lease early, is to sell your way out of it. If you turn it in early, all those payments will be due that you were responsible for. All right. And if you're going into a finance, I hope you're going from a short-term mindset to a long-term mindset. So hopefully you're like, okay, I plan on keeping my next car at least 8 years so that I can make sure I get the benefits of purchasing. There's no other benefit of purchasing, in my opinion. And look, if you guys want to throw some out there, there's no other benefit of purchasing besides the fact you can outlive the depreciation of a car. Paying the car off is not a benefit if you're still seeing massive depreciation. So if your car is losing thousands and thousands of value every year, thousands of dollars in value every year, but it's paid off, who cares? That's a loss. But with a purchase, you can hold on to the car long term, and then you'll outlive the depreciation to the point where the car is not losing value every year. It might lose a couple hundred. That's it, but not normal depreciation. So hopefully if you're switching from a lease to that, that's your mindset, okay? Nothing else makes sense, financial sense. All right, go ahead, Dolan. Next question. This one's from Instagram. Oh, wait, hold on. We got another one. Instagram. I extended my lease on my 2020 Jeep Grand Cherokee. I only pay about $270 and change a month, thinking I should buy it out. What are your thoughts? Why do we want to go from leases to buys? There are two totally different benefits. First of all, $270 a month, and I'm assuming you put money down, because even on a great lease deal, $270 a month is just not going to happen on a Jeep Grand Cherokee. So you paid that payment a little, you paid to get that payment a little bit, but yet and still, a lease is, the benefits of leasing are you're driving very expensive vehicles, brand new vehicles, $25,000, $30,000, $50,000, $100,000 vehicles for pennies on the dollar when you get great deals. You're literally driving them for 30%, 40% of what someone who purchases them is paying when you get great lease deals. What's the benefit of switching to a purchase? What's the benefit of buying a used car after that? Which is what you're asking, Patricia, is, okay, should I go from my lease to buying a used car? Because that's what when you buy your lease, that's all it is. You're buying a 3-year-old used car. There's nothing different than that. So if you are of the mind, and also to get a payment that is relatively low on a lease, you got to take a long, when you buy out your lease, you got to take a 6-year loan, especially with today's interest rates. You're going to take a 6-year loan. So you're literally paying on a car for 9 years. You're committing to a 9-year payment on the same car. Think about that. If y'all enjoying it, y'all going to spend some time with us. Could y'all tap the screen, keep running the likes up on TikTok? Appreciate you. All right. What's the benefit? So why are we doing this? And for the, all I do is I spend my time talking about numbers and thinking about financial ramifications, financial consequences of the decisions we make. And I try to explain them to you so that you can look down the road and see that this doesn't make financial sense for me to do this. So if you're looking at a $270 a month payment and you put money down, your best bet is going to be to shop for another vehicle, unless you want to keep the car a long time. If you say, Deshone, I'm keeping this thing 8 more years, then you can buy a used car, because that's the only way it's going to make sense for you to pay 9 years of payments on the same vehicle is if you keep it at least 11 years, which is 3 when you bought it, when you leased it, and then another 8 once you bought the lease out. 11 years. But you paid for 9 on the same car. So there's no good reason to do these things. Buying your lease out is the only scenario where you come in. I used to have people come in the dealer. Some of you who are new to the show, I worked for Mercedes-Benz for 5 years. I worked for General Motors for 5 years. I had my own new car brokerage for 4 years. So I've been in and around cars for the last, since 2006. People will come into the dealer and say, they had a car that they bought brand new. I want y'all to listen to this and stay by your keyboards, all right? Because I'm going to ask you a question. Somebody comes in a dealership, they're looking to replace their car. They say, Deshone, you know what? I want to trade this in for something different. I say, okay, how long have you had it? I had it about 5 years. Oh, so you bought it new? Yeah, I had it since it was new. Okay. Now, somebody's had a car 5 years. If your friend came up to you and said, yeah, I'm about to replace this one, and they told you they had it since it was new, wouldn't you think that it was either paid off or almost paid off? Yes or no? Yes or no? See, if I tell you a story that you'll never forget, you'll eliminate the bad buying your leases. It won't come to you anymore because you'll think about this story. All right. So most people would think, right? Yes, I see you, Fuzzy Nuggets. Okay, I see you, Lori. Somebody said I had this car for 5 years since it was new. It should be almost paid off, if not paid off, right? Okay, I see you, Jack Nisley on Instagram. So we go through the whole thing of calling the bank, because I ask him, he says, oh, no, it's not paid off yet. Okay, do you know how much you owe? No, not really. Okay, I'll call the bank, I'll get you paid off. We'll find out how much you owe. Now, when I see somebody who would come in the dealership and they were trading the car in 5 years or 4 years or 6 years, I already knew I was going to talk to them about leasing, because they were going to love leasing when I started showing them the numbers and saying, hey, you should stop swapping these cars out. So that's what I'm prepared to tell them about. You're going to lower your payment, and anything your car is worth. If your car is worth 15 grand, most of that is going in your bank account. So you're going to pull all that money out, put it in your bank account. You'll lease the new car with little money. So I'm getting ready to drop good news. And I've done this for so many people, right? So I'm preparing to do this for this person. Now I call the bank and I say, okay, I'm calling to get the payoff for Mr. Jonathan Williams, 2018 Audi. Oh, yes, he owes $18,400. That's a problem. So I look at him and I'm like, the bank is saying you still owe like $18,000 on the car. How is that? Didn't you say you had it for 5 years already? Oh, yeah, but you know what? I actually leased it, and then I bought the lease out. This is how I found out this was horrible. It's exactly how I found out. Wait, you bought the lease out? Yeah, I took a loan out, and See, this is the only scenario where you can have a car for 5 years, but because he took a 6-year loan or even a 5-year loan to buy the balance of the lease, he still has 3 to 4 years of payments remaining. I want to let that sink in. 3 to 4 years of payment. He comes in after 5 years. You know what? I've been driving this car 5 years. Let's go. You still have 3 to 4 years of payments remaining because you bought your lease out. It's a horrible idea. It's a horrible idea. If you want to ask a question about any exceptions to that rule, you feel free to ask. I've got a bunch of smart people on here. We got a couple hundred people on here. Would anybody commit to a 9-year loan? Anybody? Anybody willing to raise their hand and say, hey, yeah, I'll buy a car, 9-year loan? Anybody? No, right? So this is what we have to understand. The buying the leases out is a horrible, horrible, horrible idea unless you are keeping it for another 8 years, because all you're doing is buying a used car. Now, the bad thing about that is you don't even have any excitement about the purchase when you start a new purchase, when you bought your lease out. So at least when you buy a used car, it's a new car to you. You've never been in it. It's like, okay, we got a new car. When you buy your lease out, you're already halfway tired of the car. But if you're a short-term person, you're not keeping your cars 8 years, there's no way you are going to keep that car long enough to have it make sense. No way. You've already been in it for 3 years. So what I'm trying to get you to understand is you need to pick a side. The people in the middle lose all the money. The people who buy their cars and keep them 8, 10, 12 years win. You still got to make sure you get a great price on the car. The people who get great lease deals win. Great lease deals, not regular lease deals. Win. There's two sides, but then this middle, those of you who buy your car and then you trade it in 3, 4, 5 years, you're in the middle. You're trading your car in when it's losing the most money in depreciation. You're losing thousands of dollars compared to these other two people. And those of you who are buying your lease out, you're paying too long on these cars that you're not going to keep long enough to have it make sense. You're in the middle, stuck in the middle. Pick one side and stick to it. And the way you do that is to ask yourself, every time you're about to get a car, how many years am I going to keep this car? Very simple. 8 years or more, I'm purchasing. 7 years or less, I'm shopping for great lease deals. That's how you get out of the middle. That's how you win. By the numbers. And I'll show you people throughout the show that you see these numbers don't lie. Go ahead, Dolan, shoot the next one out. All right. Let's talk about the black book and how dealers use it as an advantage to ask higher prices. In what way? Okay. Black book, most consumers are not even aware of. So when it comes to black book is a tool that dealers would be using, if anything, and consumers are not going to be aware of it. Now, when I've never in my life buying a car needed to focus on what the black book says, because I don't focus on algorithms. I focus on offers and bids. Offers and bids. Even when you go on those websites where you're shopping for used cars, because this is a used car question, you'll see Car Gurus, Kelly, Auto Trader, Cars.com. They give you a algorithm-based opinion. Good deal, great deal, fair deal. That's an algorithm-based opinion because they're not actually doing it like real estate, which is based on comparable sales. So it's all it is an algorithm based on all the cars that are on this website. This is considered a good deal. Now, here's the problem. They don't know what the original price of the cars were. So they're going off of an artificial market system. So if I just take everything on my website and then say, based on everything on this website, this is a good deal, but I don't know the most important thing, which is what I teach. This is in my book. This is everything I talk about you need before you can buy a used car. I need to know the original price. So the car that I ended up getting, which was a 2021 Infiniti truck, they said that was a fair deal. I'm looking at it, and that's why I ignored it. So I don't even pay attention to it. But when I'm looking at these top 4 Infiniti trucks, they all look the same. They're all white. They're all the same year, 2020 at the time. It was 3 years old at the time. They're all within a couple miles, 26,000 miles to 36,000 miles, similar miles. So, and they're all asking between 30 and 32,000. So that's confusing for someone who's going to, now that's why they give you the algorithm, because what they're going to try to do is try to end the confusion so that you don't stay there and you buy something. But no, what you need to do is you need to get the original window sticker of the car. Now, Carfax has agreements with some dealers, some brands. But once I got the original window sticker, here's how the clarity comes in. What I just told you is the scenario that most of you who shop for used cars online, you've encountered that. I'm looking at 4 cars. They all look similar miles. They're all asking within, $1,800 of each other. How do I pick the right one? Right? Normal question. Once I got the original window stickers, what do I see? Well, one of them is $46,000 brand new. One of them is $48,000 brand new. One of them is $52,000 brand new. One of them is $54,000 brand new. And that's the one I got. Type clear if that just clicked for you. See, when I'm looking at the algorithm-based price, now you're telling me, oh, well, these cars are within $2,000 of each other. So really, no matter which one you pick, you really did okay. That's what you're telling me based on the algorithm. But based on the facts, if I accept the one for the lower price, because I think, oh, well, they're all the same. But that's the one that was $46,000 brand new. And the other one that was $54,000 brand new, that had all this special equipment in it and features and all types of nice stuff in it, that one they were asking $1,500 more. So I lost if I picked that lower price one. That's why we don't get stuck on these algorithms and black books and anything like that. We go to the market, we see what the low side of the market is, and then we're going to obtain the Carfax. I have a couple ways that I like to do it. Either through the dealer's website. I'm going to get the original window sticker of the car, and I'm not going to buy a used car without having the original window sticker of the car. How do I know what's in the car? Forget what the dealer's discounting. See, listen, my mission is to show you the science of shopping from home the way I teach, because my way is a science. It's not random. It's actual steps. They don't change. It's a system. McDonald's. Drop the nuggets in for 5 minutes. When you hear the beep, take the nuggets out. They're done. Don't do anything that I don't tell you to do. That's my system. Now, the other ways is the other part of my mission is to show you the hidden money that you haven't been trained to see in your car deals. And this is the hidden money. Looking at things that don't matter is the distraction. It's the time waster. What matters when I'm buying a used car, when I need to know whether I'm getting a great price on it or not, is how much it was originally. And what is the discount off the original MSRP? That's all that matters. That's all that matters. Okay? Different way of doing things. Different. And this is how I want you moving. Go ahead, Dolan. Next question. What's up, Andrew? YouTube, I see you. I'm going to lease a 2024 pickup, but I want to have a hard cover on it. Should I search for a truck with a hard top, or can I have one installed while I'm leasing? Would that affect my lease? Great question. Usually anything, I mean, if you can see, here's the thing about seeing a truck that has it. A truck that has it, that option is going to residualize into the lease. What that means is, if it's a $1,500 hardcover, you don't pay $1,500 for it. You pay the percentage based on the lease. You pay the percentage you're using. Now, if you go and you put a $1,500 cover on it, aftermarket or after the lease is sealed, now you're paying the entire cost for that. So my first goal would be to try to find one that has a hard cover built in and on that window sticker, because everything on that window sticker is going to residualize into the lease. Okay, good question. Good question. Go ahead, Dolan. Okay, and we're live, y'all, just so you know. I know some of you may have seen our broadcast because we rebroadcast these shows all day, but we are live. Today is our Wednesday 12 p.m. show and Eastern time, so you can ask your questions. We'll get through as many of them as we can. All right, Instagram, what's going on? When you negotiate a lease, are you negotiating the price of the car or the lease payment? Okay, so here's the format you're going to use when you are getting your lease offers. Before you start negotiating, you must have the format you're going to use. Oh, I see y'all running the likes up on TikTok. Every time y'all hear something that you like, if you could just tap the screen, that would be great. And wherever you're at, if you could hit the like button, I see we got 2 likes. That's pretty sad, but it's all good. I'm thankful for the 2 likes on Facebook and YouTube. No, I think that's Facebook. But anyway, a lot of you don't realize how important the like button is, because it sends an alert out. So anyway, we look, now they're running them up on Facebook. I gotta start asking for the likes on Facebook too. All right, so this is the format you're gonna use when you are okay. So let's say I'm purchasing a car, new car, used car. My format is always offers, all in, taxes, plates, everything included. That's the format. Forget negotiation. If you have the wrong format, then you're gonna not be strong. You're not gonna be able to have a good, negotiation. So if I say I'm gonna negotiate the monthly payment on a purchase, I'm setting myself up for failure. So we focus on the price of the car when we're buying. With a lease, though, it's different. A lease, the format we follow is, and it's based on the 1% rule. The 1% rule is what was used to basically, the 1% rule was a judge for great lease deals since before I even got in the car business. I don't know how early I heard about the 1% rule, but the people who had been leasing, savvy leasers, people who knew their stuff, they knew about the 1% rule. So if your payment was 1% of the MSRP, no money out of pocket, then you just won. You stole the car. So great value. You're paying $400 a month for a $40,000 car, 3 years. You're paying like 15 grand. It's ridiculous to drive that much car for that low amount. Now, ever since so let's continue. Hold on. So that's the format we want to follow, because what we're now trying to see is it going to be a great deal? A steal, which is under 1%, is a steal. I call 1% to 1.5% a great deal, and then over 1.5% is a bad lease deal. So we're looking to see, but we need to follow that formula, that format, so that we can judge. And what that is we get our offers with first month's payment total out of pocket. Listen, we do not say the word down payment anymore. I want you to eliminate down payment. When you're shopping, I want you to eliminate the word down payment. Because who's had this happen? Be honest. You come in, you're talking to a car salesman, you're like, okay, I could put $2,000 down. Now, later on in that transaction, you end up finding out that the $2,000 down didn't include tax, didn't include the fees, and now they're asking you, well, how do you want to take care of those? Who's had that happen? Type me if you've had that happen. Oh, I thought that included everything. Now, I thought, 2,000 was like, or they'll look at you and give you a quote and say, okay, yeah, your quote is 2,000 down, X amount per month. And then you get up there and you say, hey, yeah, it's 2,000 down, but you got to pay for your plates and then you got to pay for the taxes, or do you want to put those in the payment? So whenever you leave these things to chance, you leave an opportunity for you to, be surprised, and we don't like surprises. So what we say is total out of pocket or total due at signing. Either way, this is the amount that I'm coming out of pocket with. Everything else needs to be included. So we're doing our lease quotes with total out of pocket, only our first payment. Because when you lease, you pay your first payment and then you drive off. It's not like a purchase where the payment comes 45 days later. It's pay your first month's lease payment, then you drive. So that's all we are paying. That's it. First month's lease payment. Now, I'm not telling you that's all we will pay finally. You can keep that question up, Dolan. I'm not telling, because I want people to know that what question I'm answering, even though it might take 2, 3, 4 minutes to answer it. So there's plenty of scenarios where we are going to put money down. Once we have a great deal, we might want to lower that payment. So there's nothing wrong with putting money down as long as you know the risk and as long as you know, okay, I already got a great deal. You can't buy your way to a great deal with a down payment. You can't say, oh man, I don't like this deal. Man, all right, show me what it looks like with $5,000 down. And then they're like, oh, okay, yeah, I like that payment better. Let's do that. No, you're trying to buy a deal. You have a deal before the down payment comes in. The deal is based on how much of the car, that 1%, 1.5%, 1.2%, under 1%, that's the deal. If you're at 1.7%, just because you gave them $4,000 down and now it's at 1.5, no, that's not how we judge it. You bought your way to that payment. You're paying overall too much for the car. So that's the format we use. First month's payment total out of pocket, 12,000 miles per year, all taxes and fees rolled in, and we get at least 5 quotes. At least 5. You are not going to get to the money without at least 5 quotes. It's not going to happen. It's not going to happen because 80%, I work with thousands of people all around the country. Some of y'all saw my group. We got 1,600 people in my private group. That's, we have a couple thousand people, 4,000, 5,000, 6,000 people that have my book. So I get data from all around the country. I know you need at least 5 offers. 80% of dealers are overpriced. So if you get 4, 80%, if you get 5, 4 of those offers are going to be overpriced in 90% in most cases. And some people go, if they're shopping for a popular vehicle, they may do something like Charles. Charles was shopping for a Palisade. He knows that's a popular truck. He got 10 offers. And when you use what's in my book, for all of you who like Deshone, I want that book. It's $24 if you get there for the 75% off. In there is my scripts. And it's the way we contact dealers online to get offers online. We always get our offers online. We don't talk. I'm not giving you scripts to say, hey, yeah, all right, I got to remember what Deshone told me to say. No, we are online. They're online scripts and templates because if we talk, we're messing up. Whenever we're talking to a salesman about numbers, you're not following what I teach because I'm never going to be in that position. I'm never going to tell somebody to be in that position. Everything we do is online, but you must get 5 offers at least. And you see, Charles got the Palisade, $48,000 truck, $597 a month. It's people on here. It's probably people watching this broadcast that's like, I got that same truck, Deshone, and I'm paying like 7, 8, 9. It is what it is. You need new strategy. So go ahead. That's how we format leases. And once you get your offers in that format, Nicole, now you can start to compare the offers, and now you can start to negotiate if you want to make, because we always make counter offers. Whenever someone sends us a quote, we always make counter offers. In fact, I have a calculator that you put the offers in and it tells you what you should counter. But if you're going to do it your way or my way, it doesn't matter. We always make counters and then we settle from there. That's how we negotiate. Right format, then we do our counter offers. That's how we negotiate and get these deals. All right. All of this is in my book. For those of you who haven't gotten there yet, or those of you who just jumped on, it's in my TikTok bio. It's in my Instagram bio. There's a website there. You just click that picture of me. You won't leave the broadcast. Click the link in my bio and click the button that says 75% off the new book, and you'll have your copy in your inbox. You can use all of this stuff forever. And it's a digital book. Some people say, Deshone, is it in print? You don't want to print the book? No, because I can't update it. If I print the book, every single new thing that happens, I gotta remake the book. And now you got Cars from Home Volume 1, Cars from Home Volume 2. Every year I'm putting out a new volume to update it. No, with a digital book, we can update it all day long. So it's really a one-time purchase. So in the Facebook and YouTube comments, you guys can get yours, and you can win. Go ahead, shoot the next one up, Dola. Okay, Sierra on Facebook. Even if you're getting another lease, will you still owe the remaining payments? Yes. Yes. Look, it's a bunch of lies. I know people have told you that if you now let me preface this, because what she's asking is, see, a dealer that you did business with may make it look like if you come here, we'll get you out. Who has dealers calling them right now telling them, hey, come on in, we'll get you out. We'll take care of the old payments. We'll get you out of your lease early. We'll buy you out of your lease. Or if you got a car and you're not leasing, they're like, hey, we need your car. Hey, come on in. We'll make a deal. We'll keep your payment around the same on the new version, all of this stuff. Okay? So I want to talk specifically about what happens. First of all, that's a computer generated letter. So when you see, hey, Rico, my manager just saw your 2014 Saturn Ion. Man, I have a customer looking for that exact car. That's all a computer rated. That same email, that same letter goes out to 10,000 people at once. Okay, so don't. So understand that. Now let's hone in on the people who they hit you with the, I'll get you out of your lease early. There's only one way where payments are going to be waived, because the dealer can't waive payments. Only a bank can. So if you're with Honda Financial, if Honda Financial decides they want to do some type of loyalty program where they waive remaining payments, and it's usually 1 or 3. The most I've ever seen when I was with Mercedes, there was some cars they wanted to get back. They did 5, but that was it. And that went away. So, even from 2019, I didn't see payment waivers on leases because I don't know, for whatever reason. I saw them early in my career with Mercedes, but not later. They went away. So what they'll tell you is we can get you out early and we'll take care of the payments. If they don't have a payment waiver, then they're rolling the payments into your next lease. And what they'll depend on is you're just so desperate for a new car that you'll just take it and you won't ask any questions. But when you shop the way I'm telling you to shop, which is we don't give our old car to the dealer until we make sure we can't make money. We don't just drop off a lease at a dealership. We do an equity assessment to see if there's any money in the lease that we want to make sure we don't give to the dealer. Because if you drop off your car and it's a lease and the dealer runs your payoff and they see, wait, the payoff is 18, but the market value is 21. Let's buy that. We'll make that and we'll keep that 3,000. If they're going to do an equity assessment, see, here's what's crazy. And here's what you got to understand. They're doing an equity assessment regardless of whether you do one or not. We're going to do one. Every single lease that comes in that a person drops off. Why do y'all think y'all seeing commercials now that say we're a lease return center? Bring your leases here. You go on a dealer's website and you see, hey, drop off your lease courtesy, because they know most of the public is not going to do an equity assessment. And if we do 20 lease returns, it's going to be money in 3, 4, 5 of them. So we'll do the other 16, make no money on them, because we'll make $7,000, $10,000 on those 4. We'll make 2, 3, 4 grand a piece on those 4. This is your money that you gave unknowingly. Now, equity isn't in every car. That's why I just laid out that most of the time it's not. But if you drop off your car without doing the equity assessment, which is getting real offers, CarMax, Driveway, Carvana, Kelly's Blue Book Instant Cash Offer, Car Guru Sell My Car, AutoNation Sell My Car, that's 6 offers. We get 6 offers all the time because everything we do is a bid. So if you don't do that, you're now potentially leaving thousands on the table. So when you do that, you're not going to ever feed into the, oh, let the dealer who wrote me a letter say, bring your car in and we'll get you out of that car and we'll take care of the payments. You're going to know if you have equity or not. Now, if you do not have equity, then all they're doing is saying, how can we finagle this, get them out of this car into a new one? Move those payments over. Yeah, they got $6,000 worth of payments left, $3,000 worth of payments left. We're going to move that over to the new deal and we'll get them in a new car. So instead of leaving out, waiting, being patient, and now if you would have been patient, ended your lease and shopped the way I'm teaching you to shop, you'd have got a $500 a month lease deal, $400. But they'll get you out early because you're paying $650 right now. And they'll say, hey, come on in. They'll move the numbers around and they'll say, look, good news, we kept you at $650. And you get to get in another car. But the reason you're at $650 and not $5 is because you have thousands of dollars from your old lease that has now been built into that new lease. And this is how payment buyers lose. Payment buyers lose all the time like this. Hey, yo, what could you get me to on that car? How much that lease for a month? Oh, how much could you get me to on this car? Yeah, I could put like $3 grand down. Payment buyer, you lose because you don't really see the numbers. So you stick around, you use what I'm teaching you, you'll see the numbers and I can't reveal these things to you. I can only tell you they exist and give you the strategy. You don't believe it until you've seen it for yourself. All this stuff sounds good. If you've never used my stuff, this sounds good. You don't believe it yet. You hope it may work. Anyone who got my book, you're hoping this works. But once you use it, you're a believer. It's a difference. So we got, look, this is Tiffany. Tiffany wrote, she got the book. She sent me this the other day. She said, look at my deal. $44,820. I told you, everybody who has my book, I told you, email me your deals when you get your card. Look, $44,000 sticker. She got a $6,530 discount. And look, I'm not going to read everything she wrote because she's just praising the system. She's praising sitting there, negotiating from home, using the tools, winning. Save more money on this new car, brand new car, than she's probably ever saved on any car. And she never had to go in a dealership to do it. Bids. So she was hoping this would work. She was on this show. If she got my book, she couldn't have been in my life more than a month. We just started the show. So she literally was hoping, all right, I'm going to use this, Deshone. But now it's not a matter of hoping. She knows. That's where you got to get. So all of this stuff I'm telling you, you got to prove it to yourself by the actions you take. And once you see how overpriced these deals have been that you've been considering, you'll understand, wow, I'm never going in a dealer to get my prices again. Never. And then that's when you know you've been transformed. Go ahead, Dolan, shoot the next one up. All right, Instagram. What's the best advice you can give to get the best deal on buying a car cash from a dealer? Forget how you're paying for it. Get bids. How you're paying for the car does not matter. See, people will walk in. If you walk into an 80% dealer with cash in your pocket, you're going to lose. Vicky, it's in my TikTok bio. She said, I want your book. Just click that picture of me. You won't even leave the broadcast. Everybody on Instagram, click the picture of me at the top. You'll see a website there, a little link. Click that. Get your book in literally 60 seconds and you come back to the broadcast. So how you're paying for the car does not matter. So people walk in and say, yeah, look, I'm paying cash. What's the best price you could do on this car? If you're in an 80% dealer, you there's nothing you can do. They can knock off because they're so high, and the discounts they're going to give is so. The only way they're going to give you big discounts is if they start at very high. If they got $5,000 of market adjustments, then yeah, they could say, look, you got me down. Look, I gave you 4,000 off, and I don't give anybody 4,000 off. This is a popular car. They're still using they'll still tell you on, hey, it's not a lot of cars out there. They're still running with that story, because if you believe it, they won. I told you, the name of the game with car sales is not you winning, it's you thinking you won. So they'll throw stuff out and they'll make you think you won, and it's based on what you say. If you come in saying stuff like, man, you know what? I've been to 2 dealers. You're the first person that got this car. Okay, you're going to pay me more for that. I'm just telling you how the wolves think. I've been next to the wolves long enough to know how the wolves think. So everything you're saying is working against you and you don't even know it. Man, I need a car this week. You're going to pay more for that because you can't say no for long. Oh, I need shoot, man, I went to another dealer, man. They gave me this quote. That quote was so high. I was like, nah, I'm not buying from them. Okay. I'll be a little lower than them, but not much lower. So this is why in my system, you don't talk. I'm not teaching. Y'all never have heard me ever say on any of my videos, remember to say this when you're in the dealership. Remember to say this when you're talking to this person. Because that's a losing battle. Everybody that's been trying to teach you that has failed you because you can't win dealing with a trained salesperson that sells cars 5-6 days a week, negotiates 3-4 times, probably 10-15 times a week. So when you talk about what's the best advice for someone paying cash, the best advice is to realize how I'm paying for the car is not important. Who's going to sell me the car for the lowest price is what's important. If I'm buying a used car, who's going to sell me this used car for the lowest price? That's what's important. If I'm buying a brand new car, which dealer out of all the Nissan dealers, I want a Nissan, which Nissan dealer is going to sell me this car for the lowest price? That's what's important. That's what's important. Separate the transaction, separate the acquisition of the car. And then I would tell you the same thing if you were talking about monthly payments. Monthly payments is not important. What's a good monthly payment on this car that I want? Before you think about the loan that you're putting on the car, which is what you're talking about, which is why we separate our transactions. We get bids when we sell our car because we don't trade. We get bids when we're buying our cars. We get bids when we're getting our loans separately. See, car dealers have taught you to give them 3 transactions. You're going to buy a car, you're going to trade your car into us, and you're going to give us the loan. That's 3 transactions. There's money in each one of them. So any transaction that there's money in, we're bidding it out. So if you were like, hey, what's a good monthly payment on this car I'm looking for? I would be like, monthly payment is important. The loan isn't important. The dealer who's going to sell you the car for the lowest price, beat all their competition, give you the largest discount. That's what's important. Then you drop the money. Clear? If we clear, if y'all clear, if we're following, if you're getting value out of the show so far, if you're loving the show, type a $ and let me know. All right, Dolan, next question. If you're getting value, everybody following, type $ if you're following. Skinner, what's up, my man? Good to see you. Okay. All right, this is Miss Brooklyn. All right, I see you. Maxine, I see you. TikTok, Glenn Wright, I see you. All right. Hold on 1 second. Instagram went down for a second. I like to get them down here. All right, I see you, Simply Elegant NJ. Okay, so Miss Brooklyn on TikTok. May I ask, my lease got totaled. Is there any good in that? I have 4 months left on my lease. Not really. The only time it's good when the lease gets totaled is if you rolled a lot of negative equity into that lease to get out of it. So if I went from a finance and I had a bunch of, many of you, once you learn that, if not leasing has cost you money, and big money. I cannot downplay this. Big, huge money, thousands of dollars, probably $4 or $5 grand every single car. Plus, you're not driving the cars you could be driving. So on top of that, just the money you lose is $4 or $5 grand. Then the cars that you're not driving is you can't put a price on that. You're driving an older car versus somebody who's driving brand new cars that are under warranty. So, but many of you, once you find out that you bought into a lot of bad advice about leasing, you're like, and we've had those questions come on the stream very regularly. Deshone, should I wait? I know I need to lease now. I need to be leasing, but should I wait or should I just transition now? It's always transition now. There's no benefit of waiting once you know you're not keeping your car 8 years. You're not going to outlive the depreciation. I need to be moving into a lease now, into a better financial structure, better vehicle. So if you move, some of you, when that happens, you're going to have 3, 4, 7 grand of negative equity that you're moving over because you're a short-term person. That's the only benefit if the lease is total, because all that negative equity gets wiped out and you get to start fresh. Now, if you put money down on a lease, these are the risks of putting money down on leases, and you need to know them. If your car is totaled or stolen and not recovered, you don't get the money back. So it's very important to assess the risk. I talk about this in my book. I talk about everything in my book. There's nothing that I'm talking about on this show that's not in my step-by-step book. So in fact, everything I'm teaching you is out of my book. So when you look and say, all right, should I put money down? Then you assess your risk. How many vehicles have you had stolen in your life? If the answer is 0, then chances are you won't have a vehicle stolen. If you say, man, I've had 2, 3 vehicles stolen, then I wouldn't put money down. I wouldn't put a lot of money down because the odds of you getting another vehicle stolen seem to be high. And if your vehicle gets stolen and they don't find it and you put $5 grand down on your lease, you're not getting the money back. Now, the opposite, the other end is if the vehicle's totaled, like you experienced, Ms. Brooklyn. If the vehicle's totaled and you put $5 grand down, you don't get the money back. So you ask yourself, how easy is the vehicle to total? If you got a Honda Civic, a Toyota Corolla, small SUV, something that's easy to total, then I wouldn't be putting money down on that lease. I wouldn't put a lot of money down. I've had people put money down on SUVs and bigger sedans and bigger, S-classes. When I was at Mercedes, people would lease S-class for like $1,400 a month. They'd put money down to lower the payment. I've had people put 7, 8, 9, 10 grand down on a lease on an S-class because they know it's hard to total an S-class. Like you have to be in, God forbid, a once in a lifetime accident to total an S-class. So that's what you do to assess your risk. And what you're doing is you're always shopping your leases with only first month's payment due at signing. Because if you can get a car that has everything you want, and once you get all your offers, if the monthly payment's in your budget with no money out of pocket, then that's what I would do all day long. That's what I would do all day long. But sometimes people will get like a lease and it's a great deal. It's under 1.5%, but they're like, you know what? Payment is like $600. I want to lower that to like $500, and they'll put $3 grand down to lower it, $3,500 down to lower it to $500. But that's a decision you make only after you assess the risk. But in your particular case, if you didn't put a lot of money down, then no, you're just going to start fresh. You're going to shop for your lease, and that's it. Good question. All right. Yes, under 1%, we call that a steal, Skinner. Absolutely. That is a steal, not a deal. Go ahead. And we get steals. Some people may say, look, man, how do you see steals? We already know. Look, we get steals. When you get bids, you'll see some steals depending on the lease program. Farina just got her Jeep Grand Cherokee, $66,000 Jeep Grand Cherokee, $579 a month. $579 a month. 0.88%. Sitting at home getting bids. All right. Go ahead. Next question, Dolan. Shoot it up. This is Byron on TikTok. How long should you wait to refinance after the purchase date? As soon as it makes sense. I don't know what your interest rate is, and I don't know how thoroughly you shop for your loan. If you use the bank bidding war, we're letting 15, 20 people run our credit within a 48-hour period. So it only is going to weigh on our score like as one hard inquiry. So if one hard inquiry would have lowered our score 10 points, those 15, 20 inquiries will lower our score the same 10 points when the window closes. So if you shop like that, then no, you're not going to refinance in a month because you shop the market so thoroughly, the potential for you saving in the short term is not going to be there. But if you didn't, then yeah, you might be looking now and see that there's people who can refinance you for a lower rate. But again, the reason I don't like doing that, if you just got the car, because now you're talking about, potential more hard inquiries. But what are you going to do? If you think you could get a lower interest rate refinancing, I go online, type in refinance car loan online and see, I think Lending Tree, Nerd Wallet, they have a couple resources that they recommend, and see if you can save money. I'm refinancing if I could save money, if I could drop, because look, on a $30,000 loan, if you got $30,000 that you owe, if you could drop your interest rate by 1 point, that's probably $1,000. So, I mean, if you're not taking the shopping of your interest and your loans, that's why we bid this out. In my book, not only, and I have a section when I send it, it's called the Bank Bidding War. So I haven't combined it into my book yet. But for those who are financing, I'm going to restructure the book. Again, another update coming of the book, because that's what we do. And I'm going to add the Bank Bidding War to the book. But I don't want you, if you go online and you see that you can refinance and you can drop your interest rate, then do it. But I always tell people, don't just take a long loan, because what they'll try to do is tell you and what you can fall for. Because if you just get hung up on the monthly payment, they'll tell you, well, if you take a 5-year or 6-year loan, refinance it to 6 years, your payment goes from $490 a month to $350, and you're like, okay, give me that. But if you've already been paying for for a year, now you refinance for 6 years, now you got 7 years. So you want to look at the total amount. So here's the rule of thumb that I like to follow. You can use it if you want. You're free to do what you want, but I think it's a good rule. You refinance and you take the highest payment you could afford at the new low interest rate. So if you could afford the $500, no problem, then take the $500. That might be 4 years. If you could afford, don't go to the lowest payment. Go to the highest payment you could comfortably afford, because that's going to give you the shortest loan. And other than that, that's it. That's it. Go ahead, Dolan. Kevin from Instagram, what's going on? Does your credit score guarantee you a great deal? No, absolutely not. There's tons of people for the last 3 years. Strategy guarantees you a great deal. Strategy. We get below market deals. There's no one using what I'm teaching. There's no one using what's in my book that's following my strategies and that's not getting below market deals, because we see the market. You can't get below market deals if you don't even see the market. How you going to get below market deals? You got one offer. You got 2 offers. You get what I'm saying? How do you know what the market is? In order to get below market deals, you must have a strategy that allows you to see the market. See the market offers. See the widespread. Look at used cars and say, man, this is everything within 100 miles of me. Narrowed down, blah, blah, blah. I see the market. So, and there's people with not great credit that are going to use the strategies to buy at a below market price. So strategy is what gets you below market deals. You can have great credit all you want. You have no strategy, you will pay market value or higher. Because below market deals are reserved for the people who have the strategies to get them. Nothing to do with credit. Nothing to do with credit. I tell you, if you have bad credit, your goal should be the only people I'm overpaying, and I'm not overpaying because it's all I qualify for is my loan. My bad credit is not between me and the dealer I'm buying my car from. My bad credit is between me and the person who's lending me the money to buy the car. If below market price on this car is $18,000, if I don't have any strategy, then I'm going to go in and I'm going to buy it from them with bad credit and end up paying 21 plus the high interest rate, bank fees. And not only did I overpay for the car, but now I'm paying 15, 20% interest. That's what most people do. No strategy. So people with no strategy get killed two ways if they have bad credit: the loan and the price of the car. But when you have strategy, the only person who you should be paying more than average is the person who lent you the money. But they should be looking at you and saying, you got a great price on the car. Goes back to what I said about 15 minutes ago on separating our transactions. We separate our car purchase from our loan. The dealer who's going to sell us the car has nothing to do with the person who's giving us the loan. These are two separate bids. So my loan, because my credit's bad, is going to be a higher interest rate. Understandable. But I'm going to use the bidding system, get multiple offers, and I'm going to get a great price on the car. Separate. All right. It's a good question. It's a good question. And I'm sure a lot of people had that same question, Kevin. Go ahead, Dolan. All right. Appreciate y'all running the likes up on TikTok. If y'all can keep tapping the screen. Thank you, Ambitious73, for sharing the broadcast. Shout out to the sharers. On Instagram, y'all see next to the comment section, there's something that looks like a little paper plane. If you hit that, you can share this with a couple of your friends. You should certainly be sharing this with your best friend because they might not be friends. I'm going to be honest with you. If I had a friend and he was watching this stuff, shopping for cars, and didn't tell me about it, and I went out and I just went and if there was this new way to car shop to save all this money and he didn't tell me about it, I'd be a little upset, especially when I bring my car home and realize, dag, I overpaid for it, $5,000, $10,000, or dag, I didn't even know about leasing. You know, my parents told me, man, I should never lease. Oh, you don't listen to this guy, Deshone? Nah, man, I don't lease stuff. No, you need to listen because if you're not keeping cars 8 years, he's going to show you why you're overpaying by thousands of dollars by not leasing. It's not even close. Oh, for real? All right, I'll watch him. Then next thing you know, he's seeing me, but he bought a used car last year, or he bought a car that he's now in a finance with, and he's like, man, how long you been watching this guy? And I've been watching him for 2 years. You couldn't tag me in a video? You couldn't tag me how many people come on my stuff and say, Dad, I wish I would have saw this before I got my car. We're trying to prevent that. I don't want your friendships destroyed. Not only am I trying to save households financially, I'm trying to save friendships. All right, go ahead, Dolan. All right, we got the next one up. Jason, should you use MSRP minus dealer incentives to calculate the 1% rule or the MSRP without the incentive? Nope. MSRP. I showed y'all this the other day. I'm going to show y'all this again. Well, I showed people on the broadcast the other day, right here. Just let me remove that question so everybody can see it. Just take that question down real quick, Dolan, so everybody can see this window sticker for me. All right. See right here? Total MSRP. That's what you use. That's what you use. So the reason why you're using the total MSRP is because once you use if you're on TikTok, you'll see it on the rebroadcast because we rebroadcast these shows throughout the day. Once you see the MSRP the percentage is what's going to change, based on the offer the dealer made you. We do not change the, we don't calculate our formula based on the selling price, because the selling price, when it's adjusted, it's going to change the percentage overall. The selling price is what's going to dictate whether it's 1%, 1.4%, 1. So the selling price, once you take the monthly payment and divide it into the total MSRP, it's going to tell you, okay, who gave me the biggest discount? The lower the percentage, that's the dealer that gave the biggest discount. It's reflected in the percentage. So we don't have to adjust the MSRP. The selling price, if they took $15,000, look, they took a crazy amount of money off for Greg, $56,000 MSRP. He got a 0.9% lease. Matter of fact, let's look at Kimberly. Kimberly, she got a Maserati. She got a $91,000 vehicle. She ended up getting over 20 grand off. Over 20 grand off, getting bids, saving more money at home than everybody saving in dealers. Can't get these types of deals in dealers. So $86,000, then she got a $66,000 offer. So they were taking $20,000 off. And then the car that she ended up getting was this one. And look, when you see 1%, when you see a low, that means all that discount that they took off is reflected in the percentage, because the percentage is what you are paying relative to the MSRP. So no, always use the total MSRP like I just laid out. Okay, that's the formula. All right, go ahead, Dolan. Great questions today. We're getting great questions every day. I'm enjoying it. I'm enjoying it. TikTok. Do you have to repurchase to get the book updates? No, you don't, Youssef. That's why it's a digital book. Example, Room went out of business a little while ago. Room used to be in our bids. When we sold our cars, the equity assessment, Room was in there. When we bought a used car, Room was in there. So they were in our bids for the marketplaces and for our selling our cars. They went out of business. I went right into the master file, updated it. That's why when you get your book, an email is sent to you with the master file. You don't want to ever lose that email. Even when you download the book to your computer or your phone, don't delete the email, because the email is what I update that will actually be what you refer to. So when you come back a year from now and you use it, you'll see, oh, shoot, this is different. Yeah, because we update this. So yeah, once you get it, that's why it's a digital book. That's why I didn't print it. And if I would have printed it, I could have, made more money probably, because I could have just said, hey, all right, y'all, a year from now I'm on here. Okay, so we had a lot of changes last year. This coming with our business, and now this new tool exists, and now this. So now this is Cars from Home Volume 2, and you can get it right now, but that's not the mission. So, but there is probably going to come a point where I'm not doing the 75% off anymore. I know that's our welcome offer. So, I mean, those of you who come on and look, $97, we've had people pay $97, not asking any questions, because if they use the book, they're not even asking any questions. If they use the book, it's like $97. I would have paid $900 if I knew what this book was going to do for me. So they're not hung up over $70-something difference. But I will at some point probably do away with the 75% off offer once we really launch and get enough books out there in the marketplace. So, but for now, you can get yours for 75% off in my TikTok bio and my Instagram bio. It's my new digital book, Cars from Home, 7 Steps to Saving Time, Money, and Avoiding Dealers. Here we are on Goodreads. Thank you to everybody who's reviewed the book. And if you haven't reviewed the book and you used it, please go to Goodreads and add to our 5-star reviews. I appreciate you. And then we have a comment in YouTube and Facebook in the comment section where you guys can get yours, or go to deshonsbook.com. Get your 75% off before the timer expires. You got 30 minutes. All right, go ahead, Dolan. Valerie on Facebook. In leasing cars, can I do personal modifications? Great question. I'm an amputee. I have to drive with my left foot, so I need a left gas foot accelerator installed in order for me to drive. Can I do that modification on a lease car? That's a great question. Anything that can be restored back to factory, then you can do it. Like if you are going to, now you tents, they don't require you take off tents because some people like, that's a serious question. Can I tent my car on a lease? Sure. They don't usually sweat tents. But things that really like are changing the makeup of the car like this, it depends on if this is removable or not. If it's removable, then of course. If it's not, and it's a permanent adjustment, then I would say no, because they're going to bill you for that. And so what I would do if I'm you is I would only be, if you're not keeping your cars 8 years, now the mission is still to beat depreciation. To beat depreciation. So you don't want to buy a car, especially you, because you're making a custom update that will lower the value of the car. So whatever car you buy, Valerie, let's say your car's value would have been like this, going down over a 3 or 4 or 5 year period. Because of this adjustment you're making, it's going to go like this. Because if that update that you're making can't be removed, then you lower the amount of people who are interested in that car when you go to resell it. So what I would tell you, if you're not keeping cars 8 years, then you should only be buying pre-owned cars. That's going to be your smallest losses. Don't buy new, because when you, again, buying new and you doing your modifications on them, you're going to destroy the value of the car. You're going to lose so much money in depreciation and resale. So I would only be shopping for a used car if I'm you, unless there's a way for you to remove the modifications once you do them. Even if it costs you $1,000 to remove them, you're up, because the amount of money you're going to lose by doing that type of modification. I say the same thing to people who like to put, big exhaust systems on their cars. That's valuable to you, but you're lowering the value of the car because that's not valuable to most buyers. So if you spend $3,000, $4,000 on a fancy exhaust system and all of that, not only are you not getting that money back, you're lowering the car's value overall. So in your particular case, that's what you do. See if you can pay to get that car restored back. I do that all day long. And then I would lease. And before I turn the lease in, I would pay the money to restore it back to stock. Okay, that's a couple options, and you choose what works for you. Okay, all right, good question. All right, trying to buy the book. Link to the site is not loading. Just go to deshonsbook.com. Deshonsbook.com. And you can spell my name out. You can open it in the browser. I'm not sure why we got a lot of people that go to TikTok and get their book. So I haven't heard that. But if you're having issues, then don't let small obstacles stop you. Just go to deshonsbook.com and get you 75% off. Okay, this one is from YouTube. Is it better to get a loan from a bank that you choose, or is it better to use dealerships banks? We get bids. So I created a process called the bank bidding war. Now, there's so much money in your loans. There's companies that want to give loans. They don't sell cars. So that should tell you something. If there's plenty of companies in this world that want to loan money, they don't sell cars, then that should tell you there's a lot of money in the loans. So what we're doing is we're doing a bidding war, because everything we do not shake hands with anybody without a bid on anything. I'm not giving my old car to you without a bid. I'm not getting a loan from you without you winning a bid. I'm not buying a new or used car from you without you winning a bid. So we're not doing the bidding process until after we find the dealer who's going to sell us the car. Once we find the dealer who's going to sell us the car, won the bid, one dealer who says, okay, I beat all my competition, now we're buying from them. We are going to lock up that car with a deposit, and we're going to go home and we're going to start the bidding war. So the bidding war is 3 rounds. It starts before we look for the car, because we want to see if there's any special interest rates. So if I'm shopping for a car, round 1 of the bank bidding war, this is also in my book. And as I said, when you get your book, you'll actually see I'm sending you 2 files. I'm sending you the book. I'm sending you the bank bidding war blueprint separately, because I haven't added it to my book yet. But Round one is to see if there's any special interest rates, because if the car I'm looking at has a 0% interest rate from the manufacturer, or 0.99% or 1.99%, everything else is eliminated. There's no reason for me to look anywhere else. Now, we always have to see what the term is, because sometimes they'll say 0% for 36 months. That's not going to work for most people, because that loan is going to be too short. Payments would be too high. So we got to look at the term. But if we see they have 1.9% for 60 months, or 2.99% for 72 months, this is really going to, no bank or credit union is going to beat that. So that's round one. Now, most vehicles are not going to have that. So then we do what we just said. We're getting the bids. We're finding a dealer that's going to sell us the car for the lowest price, win the bid. Once we do that, we lock our car up with a deposit. We come home. That's where we start the bank bidding war process. So we're going to go online. We're going to call our bank, our credit union, do all these offers, let all these people access our credit with a hard pull. And then we're going to get the bids in round two. Whoever gets the lowest bid, they win round two. Then we call the dealer and we say, hey, this is what I got. If you guys can beat it with one of your banks, I'll do the business with you. That's simple. That's the bidding war. And see, when you do bids, when you follow my process, you eliminate any buyer's remorse. There's two types of buyer's remorse. You bought a bad car, so we have boundaries that we use to not buy bad cars. But then the other buyer's remorse is I overpaid. And not even I overpaid, it's the wondering if I overpaid, that mental torture. And some of you have had it the day you drive off the dealer's lot. Yeah, you think we should have did better? You think I should have asked them for another $1,000? I feel like I should have at least asked them for another $1,000. Yeah, I feel like this. You think the interest rate is okay? Mental torture, buyer's remorse, early buyer's remorse. That's eliminated using what I'm teaching you. When you get bids, it's guaranteed. We guarantee we get the most money for our old car. We guarantee we get the best price in the market on our car we're buying. We guarantee we get the lowest interest rate. It's guaranteed. It's a totally different thing. And the only way we do it is through bids. So that's the bank bidding war. And even I think who used it? I think Tiffany, when she wrote in, she would say something. That's what she was writing about in the end of her email she sent me. Send me your deals, y'all. I always want your deal. I say, when you use this stuff, you use what's in my book, email me your deals. You'll have my email, because when I email you the book, you'll have the email you can send your deals to once you get them. But this is what she said. She said, we received a check from our credit union, $41,000. We let them know we had a check, but their finance person, look, straight out my book. But if their finance person could get us a better rate, we would go with them. The dealer bought us a better rate, half our interest rate. But the bank they chose wanted $1,500 down, so we said no. So that's it. So she took round two of the bidding war, came in and said, look, if you could beat it, you got it. They said, okay, we could do half the interest rate, but you need money down. Okay, no problem. That doesn't work for me. So that's in control. That's like, okay. And there's going to be some scenarios where the dealer says, look, I can't beat it, but I can match it. And in which case you save all the paperwork. You don't have to go through that with the bank. So, and it's the guaranteeing of knowing I got the lowest rate in the market, because I had 15 banks competing, not one dealer who was shopping it. So total different thing. All right, y'all. I see we got a lot more questions. Shout out to the sharers. I see some new followers. If you haven't already, subscribe on YouTube. We got some new things coming for YouTube very soon. Some things that's going to help organize the show and help you reference things and see questions and break them down so you can actually reference your question. So YouTube is what allows us to do that. But we're live on all 4 platforms when we do the show. So whenever you see the banner above me, you know we are, we're replaying it. You can tell your friends about it, because some of you can't make the whole show. You got to go to work, or your friend, you can tell them any time of the day. We're usually rebroadcasting these shows, but the banner also will show when we're going to be live. So the good thing about it is, you see in the banner, we'll have the live shows so you can actually see when we're live and you can join us. So this has been our 12 p.m. show. Everything we taught today is out of my new digital book, Cars from Home, 7 Steps to Saving Time, Money, and Avoiding Dealers. You can get your copy for 75% off for 30 minutes. If you visited the website, the timer started. So once you visit, that timer started. Once it goes to 0, the price is $97, which is still a great price. But if you haven't been there yet, you can get your copy for $24 at 75% off in my TikTok bio, in my Instagram bio, or pinned in the YouTube and Facebook comments. And we'll put the banner back on here for those of you who are watching us on TV. You can just scan this with your mobile camera and you can get your 75% off. But great job. Listen, great questions today. Make sure you are sending me your success stories so I can bring them onto the show, just like Tiffany. If you haven't already, go to goodreads.com and you can post. We just got another review on goodreads.com. So add to our 5-star reviews. Tell us your story so that we can keep getting this message out and the people who want to learn strategy can keep getting it. All right. Always a pleasure. God bless y'all. I'll see y'all on the next stream.
The worst possible thing you could say when you walk into a car dealership. I spent 5 years with Mercedes-Benz, 5 with General Motors, and the worst thing a person could say when they walk in is, if you could just get me to this payment, we got a deal.
So your loan's probably still like 19, which means you got to pay to get out. You're upside down. It's called negative equity.
What's up, everybody? Welcome back to Car Shopping Questions and Answers. I'm your host, Deshone the Auto Advisor. This is episode 12, and we do these live shows to make sure that those who are committed to financial literacy get the insider strategies they need to get below market car deals. And the only way you're going to do that is by using strategy. So that is what we teach here. I am all about giving you the simple strategies you need to sit at home and let dealers bid for your business, let banks bid for your business, and let people bid for the cars that you're going to sell, not trade. And that's what we do here. So for those of you who don't know me, my name is Deshone the Auto Advisor. I spent 14 years in the car business. And since 2020, my mission has been to create smarter car shoppers, buyers, and owners. So if this is your first time ever seeing us on a broadcast, could you type the number 1? What's going on, Lisa Jane? Good to see you. I appreciate it. Hey, you're the best. I appreciate it. Listen, you keep using what I'm teaching, you're the best. I just love people who are committed to their money, because the wolves, the 80% of car salespeople who you deal with every day, and you don't know how to find the best car salespeople to deal with, those people are committed to their money. One thing about the wolves and the sharks is they are committed to making their 15, 20, 25, 30 grand a month, and they do not care who gets in the way. When you walk in, you're a casualty of war if you don't know what you're doing. So that's what we do here. So you guys can start typing your questions. I do have my man Dolan in the back moderating. He's going to bring your questions into the show. And if you're watching and you see the banners, that means this is a rebroadcast. But if you don't see the banners, we're live. And right now we're live. This is our Wednesday, 7 p.m. live stream. Okay, so once we get a couple questions, my man Dolan will bring the first one in. We'll get the show on the road. But the simple housekeeping, for those of you who don't know, I am the author of the new digital book, Cars from Home. We're rated 4.94 on goodreads.com. Thank you to everyone who's reviewed the book and used it. I want you to email me your deals when you pick up your cars. See, what I want from you guys is to be excited about the deal. Right now, most of you are ashamed of your deals. So that's just a fact, because you wouldn't email. And I'm not in the business of telling people they got bad deals. But once you start using what I'm teaching and you start getting bids and shopping the easy way, you'll love to share your car deals. You'll be sharing your car deals with anybody willing to listen. And that's what I want. Okay, so As part of our welcome launch, you can get your copy of Cars from Home, 7 Steps to Saving Time, Money, and Avoiding Dealerships. It's 75% off in my TikTok bio for 30 minutes, in my Instagram bio for 30 minutes, or if you're on YouTube or Facebook, you can click the comments we have pinned for you and you can get your copy for 75% off. You won't pay the normal $97. You'll get it for $24. So Dolan, if you could, matter of fact, I'll throw the banner up. Dolan, you could throw the first question up and let's get the show on the road. Okay, this one's from TikTok. Miss SPM Clark, how are you? Is it a good time or season to buy a vehicle? That's a great question. Is it a good time? And whenever you hear a question that you like, that y'all running the likes up on TikTok already. Shout out to everybody tapping the screen, running those likes up. I appreciate you all. That's a great question. Is this a good time or season to buy a vehicle? There's no bad time. I'm going to tell you why. What you're depending on is to be positioned to find a dealer who really wants to move a vehicle. Now, 80% of dealers are overpriced. I'm going to continue to say that. Now, the reason I know that is because since 2021, I've worked with 1,600 people in my coaching program and probably another 5,000, 6,000 to have my book already. I know the data. When we're looking at offers, 80% are overpriced. So you need to know that 80% of the dealers that you're dealing with, 80% of the dealers in this country, if you're driving down the highway, 80% of the dealers are overpriced. They don't all have the same prices. I know you may have been taught that, oh, every dealer is the same. They're all different. They're all competing against each other. So you now use that to your advantage. Marketing tells you when does the marketing tell you is the best time to buy a car? We got a good number of people on here already. Make sure you stay by your keyboards, because if this is your first time on the show, you'll see we ask questions and then I need you guys typing fast so that we can keep the dialogue going fast. When does the marketing tell you the best time to buy a car is? Okay. Brighten up my light while y'all do that. Hold on, I'll be looking at your answers. Okay, new year, yep, new cars, okay. When cars come out, okay. End of the year after September. Okay, end of the year, I see you, Jamie, on Instagram. Okay, so that's the busiest week of the year. You go into any car dealership, it's a zoo. Now imagine that. I want you to put yourself in the car dealer's shoes. If you knew that you had customers trained so well that by that last week of the year, the place was going to be a carnival. And that's the end of the month is like that too. Holiday, President's Day is like that too. But here's what I want you to think about, because that's just a myth. There's no better deals. So there's some people that are buying cars during the holidays overpaying for them. Because here's the thing, you got a line of people behind you. If you're at home shopping, that's different. But if you're in the dealership, think about it. You got a line of people behind you, 10 people. So when the salesman's talking to you, it's like, I don't even have a lot of time, right? Salesman doesn't have a lot of time to talk to you. Listen, Bernard, listen, man, I'm making you a good offer. You see the place is packed, man. You know, I would take it if I was you, but you know, we really don't have the time. You know, if you wanna think about it, you're more than welcome. There's no guarantee the car's gonna be here when you come back. Psychology working all against you. I told you, if you've been on the stream before, you know the name, that you winning is not the important part in a car dealership. It's making you think you're winning. So when you want to be in a car, this is when you want to be shopping, 3 months before you need to have a car. And I'm going to tell you why. If the place is a carnival, there's no reason to give cars away. There's no reason. Why do I want to do a big sale? Why do I want to discount the cars if the place is packed? There's 3 customers for every car that I have. It's a marketing game. Now, the opposite is true. You got to think about this. On the 3rd of the month, when the place is empty, 10th of the month, dealers looking at that. I remember we used to look at our numbers, right? Because everyone makes you think dealers only think about their numbers at the end of the month. Go at the end of the month when dealers want to hit their numbers. Don't you think dealers want to hit their numbers on the 10th? Don't you think if we have to sell 250 new cars and we look on the 10th of the month and we're like, oh, we only got 70 cars sold. We're not pacing good. We look like we're gonna fall. We only got 50 cars sold. Oh, this is a horrible month. Anybody who sends in an internet inquiry they're like, oh, look, we're behind. There's not this magic thing where it's like every month at the end of the month, the last 3 days, dealers are pushing to hit their numbers. Some dealers hit their numbers 5 days before the month is up, 3 days before the month is up, which means you come in at the end, we already hit the numbers. But again, it's a game of psychology. So what I'm teaching you is to understand, I was in that game for 14 years. I was very good at playing the game. Now, I'm not going to lie. I wasn't a person who lied. Anybody who knows me from New Jersey knows anytime, the way you guys see Deshone, there's a couple people who, since, we've gotten over 2 million followers now across all these platforms. So God has blessed me. But there are people who know me. They dealt with me. And when they see my videos, what they say is, the same way he is in the videos is the same way he was in the dealership. Nothing changed. Some people are like, oh, I'm online now, I'm teaching. And then it's like, they got a bunch of people out there that's like, no, that's not, he changed when he went online. The same way I was in a dealership teaching people about numbers, about leasing, don't buy your lease, all of this stuff that I'm teaching in the stream is the same way. So the game of psychology is what you have to stop falling for. Stop looking at marketing, and now you have to look at what does make sense. That's being in the market 3 months before you need a car. I'm gonna tell you why. If your lease is up in a month, that's good because you can extend. So I always tell you, start shopping when your lease is up when you got one payment left. That's good. Start shopping your offers because if worse comes to worse, you can extend the lease for free and you can buy yourself another month or two. You want 3 months because here's what happens over 3 months. Lease deals change if you're shopping for leases. Offers and incentives change if you're shopping for cars that you're buying. If you're shopping for a new car you're buying, you can look so here's an example. Let's say I'm looking for a dark blue, Kia Sorento, right? For example. If I reach out to them, something I teach in my process is we have 2 dates. 2 dates. Those of you who have my book know this. Some of you have seen it in my free social media videos. 2 dates. As soon as date, no later than date. As soon as date is the soonest you can say yes to an offer. That's the soonest you should be looking at offers. You shouldn't be looking at offers if you can't say yes to it yet. Wasting time. Then the second date is the no later than date. That's our deadline. So the time between there, I like to see 3 months because when you reach out to a dealer, one of the things in my template in my book, one of the things you should say if you're talking to a dealer is, I can make a deal today, but I don't need a car until December, whatever. Whenever that is, in the summer, whatever. Because the time in between that is your leverage. That's the time where you could say no. That's the time where everyone else who's going in the dealership, the way everyone else shops, they're going in desperate. Oh, I need a car today. I need a car by Friday. All of the stuff they're saying out their mouth that's going to make sure they pay more because car sales people hear that stuff. And so you're not saying that. You're saying, hey, if you got a blue one and it's not going to be here for 8 weeks, I'm interested in that. See, they can't present that to these other customers that are there desperate mode right now. That car that 8 weeks away, can't present it. So inventory changes on a month-by-month basis. Incentives and rebates change on a month-by-month basis. I'm gonna tell you the biggest thing though. Let's go to used cars. Price trends change on a month-by-month basis. So when we go to shop for used cars, we always have on alert so that every single new car that hits the inventory pops up on our phone, in our email. Everything I'm teaching you is in my book. Now, I don't hold back. You can get it any way you want. You can get it on the stream. You can get it on my videos. You can get it in my book if you want it all in one spot. But so when we do this, everything new is popping up. We can see the price changes. We can monitor the price changes. But the biggest thing is when a dealer needs a deal, you're positioned. Let that sink in. I just gave you a scenario a couple minutes ago of how it looks when a manager comes in and says, all right, y'all, we got to have a meeting. Okay, y'all, it's the 10th of the month. We only got 50 cars out. We got to sell 250 cars by the end of the month. We're way behind. Anybody who is real, that's what we call a real customer, a real buyer. Get them on the phone and, see if they're open. We're not turning away any reasonable offer today. Now, for those who are desperate, need a car today, need a car this week, those people been going. They're never going to get these phone calls, very rarely, because they're moving so fast. You position. You in their email. Tom knows Sparta has been emailing me. He told me he doesn't, or she, I can't tell if it's, I can't tell by your name, whether you're a man or woman, but let me see. Sparta, hey, I know I couldn't get to your offer before. You still open? Yeah, thank you. What you got? Position. So you can't do that when you're desperate and when you're shopping. Now, if you're in an emergency, understood. You totaled your car, you need a car in 2 weeks, understood. We got plenty of people who get in, use my stuff, they get their car in 2 days, they get their car in. That's why my biggest thing is teaching you the strategies you need to get below market deals in 48 hours. But the benefits of having time can't be measured. The benefit of being able to look at deals, have dealers call you. I had one of my people who listened to me. He had a Kia Telluride. The general manager called him the last day of the month and said, look, if you could get this done today, I'll take $5,000 off the price. That's the one he ended up going with. His name is Wendell. So I don't say there's a best time to buy a car because I've seen deals at the beginning of the month. I've seen below market deals at the end of the month, non-holidays, holidays. I've also seen people overpay with no strategy at the beginning of the month, the end of the month, the holidays. So you get what I'm saying? Y'all understand that? It's all about being positioned. And if you can be positioned, you'll find that you'll love getting those calls and those emails. Like, man, all of those people, when I reached out to them, they act like they didn't want to do a deal or they couldn't get to my number. Don't worry. 2 years ago, I was shopping for my mother's Mazda CX-5. I reached out in October for the offers. I looked at the offers, didn't like them. Then I reached out in November. Same salespeople. They knew me. They know I'm serious. But hey, I didn't like the offers last month. Didn't like the offers in November. December, guy calls me or emails me, Deshone, I got this car. Let me know if it'll work for your mother. I think I can get to your number on this. Saw the car? Yep, car works. That's the one we ended up getting. Strategy. All right, that's how I want y'all moving. Go ahead, Dolan. Next question. This one's Lisa Jane from TikTok. How are you? And we are live, y'all. This is our Wednesday, 7 p.m. live stream. So if you don't see the banner, that means we're live. If you see the banner, that means you're watching the replay. People watch the replays all throughout the week, so people get value out of replays. But if you are not seeing the banner, that means we're live. So ask your questions. Time to turn in my lease. I'm already over the sales guys, not sure how to start. First thing you're going to do, sounds like you've decided you're going to lease again. So that would be the most important question. That's always the first question because that's the foundation of your deal. Leasing versus purchasing. I always say, if you've been on a show before, you can't get a great deal if you purchase, but you should have leased. Impossible. So once you decide that, now we're going to do an equity assessment. So we are no longer, Lisa, going to turn in who's dropped off a lease to a dealer at any time in their life. Type 1. You had a lease, you've just dropped it off or returned it to the dealer. And what you're going to see now is you're getting a lot of dealers that say, we're a lease return center. Bring your lease in. We'll ground your lease for you. Even sometimes it's not even their brand. They sell Hondas and they'll say, hey, bring any lease and we'll return it. The reason they're doing that is because they're going to do an equity assessment. So the reason why right after you decide whether you're leasing or buying, that's my process is 7 steps. That's why my book is called Cars from Home, 7 Steps to Saving Time, Money, and Avoiding Dealerships. Step 7 is delivery. That's the end. But the first step is lease versus buy, 8-year rule. Second step is equity assessment because you need to understand that every time you give your car to a dealership, either dropping it off on lease or you trade, they're assessing your equity. They're assessing the position of what the vehicle is worth on the market. We do that. We never let the dealer do that before we do that. And the only way we do that, we don't use Blue Book, we don't use Black Book, we don't use any algorithm sites. We have a huge advantage with cars we don't have with houses. That's we could get offers. We can get real offers. Imagine being able to, at any time, if you're a homeowner, literally get no obligation offers on your home. You could just put your home, you could just go to buyers and say, here's this kind of house I got, and you could get multiple offers. Hey, I'll pay this for it, I'll pay this for it, I'll pay this for it. That'd be amazing, but you can't. So all they have with homes is algorithms, Zillow, Zestimates, and all of that. With cars, we can get real offers from the people who compete to buy cars. And this is our first step before we budget, before we think about what car we want, before shopping, we are doing an equity assessment. So what that looks like, Jane, is you're going to call your leasing company and you're going to get the payoff. There's two types of payoffs, a customer payoff, a dealer payoff. Depending on the brand, sometimes they're the same, sometimes they're different. Sometimes the dealers don't have to pay taxes. And so it depends. There's no hard rule, but you're going to get the customer payoff. Customer payoff, then you're going to ask them, that step is the same for everyone, whether you own a car, you lease a car, doesn't matter. Only people who don't have to do that is if you have a paid off car. You skip that step and you go right to the next step. But if you have a lease, you're going to ask an additional question. Do I have a third party restriction? If you don't have a third party restriction, you can sell to the highest online bidder. The bidders that we're going to get, if you own your car outright, you can sell to the highest online bidder. You have a lease with no third party restriction, you can sell to the highest online bidder. If you have a finance car with a bank loan on it, you can sell to the highest online bidder. The only people who can't sell to the highest online bidder are leases with third party restrictions. So you're still going to go and get the offers from the online bidders because you want to know a roundabout of what the car is worth. So we're going to go to CarMax. We're going to go to Drive. We get 6 offers. This is the equity assessment laid out in my book, step 2. When you do this, you're getting CarMax offers, Driveway offers, Carvana offer, Kelly's Blue Book Instant Cash offer, AutoNation Sell My Car, and Car Guru Sell My Car. When you get to the point where if you lease, just pay attention. See, there's a lot of details. This is why I say when y'all are trying to look through all my social media videos, you don't realize what things are applicable to you and which are not. So I'm talking to 4 different types of people right now. People who, all of you should be doing an equity assessment. People who have a car that's owned outright. People that has a car with a loan on it. People that has a lease. No third party restriction. People who have a lease with a third party restriction. So you have to take the nuances and say, all right, that part was for people with third party restriction. This part is not. I don't have a third party. So when you call and you get a third party restriction, you need to take a different route to sell. But everyone's going to get those 6 offers. Everyone. Shout out to y'all tapping the screen, running the likes up, and shout out to the sharers. Thank you to everybody that shares the broadcast. It means a lot. Tag your closest friend. So now you get those 6 offers. If you have a lease, whenever you're on those websites, it's going to ask you, is the car owned, financed, or leased? You want to put owned. Do not put lease because it triggers something in their website where it thinks every lease has a third party restriction and they may not give you an offer. So don't do that. Now, once you get those offers, you can sell to the highest bidder. Now, if you have a third party restriction, we're going to take those offers. We're going to kind of see where those offers are, kind of get an estimate, and now we're going to go and sell that car to a used car, to a brand. Let me explain it like this. If you have a BMW, you can only sell to a BMW dealer. When you have a third party restriction, you can only sell to a BMW dealer. Now, hundreds of thousands of people around the country, they found out they had a third party restriction. They bought their cars and resold them. The reason I don't like doing that is because you pay taxes, you pay fees, and that comes out of your profit. So if you were going to make $5,000, you buy your car. By the time you pay the taxes and fees, you wait for the title, you probably won't make anything. But when we sell direct to a dealer by getting bids from multiple BMW dealers, If I have a third-party restriction of Nissan, I'm getting multiple bids from Nissan dealers. And once I get my offers from those dealers, now I'm going to sell to the highest one because dealers don't pay those same fees. Dealers will I don't have to pay the taxes and fees. That doesn't come out of my profit. So we've had people who sell direct to the highest bidder online, depending on their situation. And we have people who, with third-party restrictions, sell to the highest bidder among a local dealership. But we must get bids. Doesn't change. We get bids no matter what. So some people say, Deshone, I use what you teach. I went on those websites. They said they don't buy leases. You didn't do what I told you to do. You put that it was a lease in there, and then and then no, you don't. No, you have a third-party restriction. We sell to a dealer of the same brand. We get bids from multiple dealers. That's what I'm saying. So it's laid out in my book. If you want the roadmap, if you don't want to try to remember this, TikTok bio, Instagram bio, comment section on YouTube or Facebook, or you can scan the QR code, get your book for 75% off. You won't pay the normal. Hold on one second. Let me turn this off. You won't pay the normal $97. Okay, so that's the equity assessment. When you said, Lisa Jane, I'm not sure how to start, that's the process. Because we never return a lease that has equity. We don't return a lease until we find out if there's no equity. If there's no equity, then we'll drop off the lease and we'll shop for our replacement vehicle. All right, good question. Go ahead, Dolan. Good evening. How do I narrow down the luxury brand of car desired after filling out the shopping sheet? I'm looking at cars. Once you fill out the sheet and you're looking at, you're talking about you're in the step 4 shopping. Val, you're trying to decide what you want. Hold on, let me be clear. If you're in the phase where you're trying to decide what we want, we see in step 4 we have a whole process, a whole step that's called shopping, not buying. See, you need to clearly separate those two things. See, what happens when you mix shopping and buying, you go in to look at cars. If you're looking for a new car or a lease, you go in, you're test driving cars, and then you sit down, you start talking numbers. You mix the two. Shopping is deciding what you want. That's going in test driving. That's taking the kids, making sure they have enough leg room. That's doing everything to make sure. Test driving, 15, 20-minute nice test drive. All right, comparing the features, going to drive the Honda. Then I'm gonna drive the Kia. Then I'm gonna go drive everything I'm interested in. I'm not talking numbers with anybody. That is shopping. Once you have decided what you want, now we're coming home and all the purchasing is done from here. All the bidding is done right from where you're right. Like, this is where I get my cars at, right here. I sit right in front of my computer, and in 60 minutes of work, I'm gonna have bids coming in 48 hours. I'll know what the below market values are. So if you're just talking about the shopping phase, I'm on YouTube. If I'm looking for like a 3-row SUV, I'm typing in 3-row SUV. And then I'm looking at the competitors, because we're not giving enough. Look, car manufacturers do a horrible job of marketing. Horrible. There's 40-something companies that make cars that spend millions of dollars to try to get you to come see them at least. And so that's the reason why you notice when you have a car, they're reaching out to you before the car's paid off, before the lease is up, because they know once you get to the end, you're more likely to shop. That's why they try to keep you, we were reaching out to people with Mercedes 6 months before their lease was up. 9 months. Hey, Mr. Jones, if I could get you out early, would you consider it now? Hey, good news, Mr. Jones. Hey, I might be able to get you into a new Mercedes and keep your payment right around where you are, right around where you're at now. Is that something that sounds good? Okay, when can you come in? All right, not till this weekend, but you're going to have to lower the payment. This payment kind of high. Listen, Mr. Jones, look, we have several options. You're a loyal customer. You've been with Mercedes for a long time. Anytime you come, listen, I promise you, me and my manager will work hard to make sure you get a number that works for you. But the first thing we want to do is pick a car. We got a lot of nice new models. Want you to see them. Blah, blah, blah. You got to understand, if we're pulling you out of the car early, we're trying to prevent you from shopping the market, because every couple of years, there's new product, new technology, new features. You want to see this stuff. You want to see these cars. And so that's when I'm telling you is you're about to spend 50 grand, 30 grand, 70 grand. Take the time and treat it like if you were going into the mall to spend that kind of money. If you were walking into the mall to spend that kind of money, how would you want to be treated? Would you ever rush yourself? Would you want anyone rushing you to make a decision when you're about to make a $70,000 decision? A lot of you are not test driving enough cars. Now, with a used car, you can't test drive it until right before you buy it. So because every used car drives different. But for those of you leasing and getting new cars, purchasing them, you should be test driving everything that's in the category of a car you want. Everything. Test driving and then narrowing it down. This is how people end up getting a car, and in 3 months they're like, hey, I don't really like the car. It's not as comfortable as I thought. You didn't test drive it. You did a short, quick test drive. So don't rob yourself of the shopping experience. We don't. That's why I have a whole step that is only devoted to shopping. And then what you do, Val, is you put it into Google and you type in the year and you type in initial quality. That's going to tell you on that first page what the ratings say. Listen, don't ask your neighbor what they think of the new car. They might love it, but there's 10,000 other people in the country that have that same car. You need to know what is the data saying about that. 10% of those people might be dealing with electrical issues. That's going to show in that initial quality scan on Google. Then you look and you Google reliability. So initial quality's first 90 days, reliability's first 3 years. Everyone who's leasing needs to be typing those two things in. Initial quality, skim the articles, look for any red flags, then do the same thing for reliability. Those of you who are purchasing, you should be doing longevity. And that's going to tell you if the car has transmission problems later on. That's going to tell you what the engine is rated to do. These are 5-minute exercises that will save you from getting a Maserati that's in the shop every 3 months. So that's the shopping process, Val. And don't cheat yourself of it. Don't shortcut it. Take as much time as you need in that part of the process. Because once you decide what you want, getting offers is quick. If you're doing it my way, getting offers is literally 60 minutes. So don't rob yourself of shopping. All right, good question. Go ahead, Dolan. One thing I will not do is sign anything to test drive. If anybody ever, keep that question up. If anybody ever makes you sign something to test drive, first of all, and I have a particular way I set up a test drive. In my book, I teach you how to call a dealer, ask for the most experienced salesperson, the guy everybody loves, the person everybody loves, and you set up the test drive with that person. You set up a random test drive or you walk into, you don't know who you're going to get. You might get Lou Ricardo. He only been there for 2 months. He made $10,000 last month. He hungry. He feeling like he could do no wrong. Even when he lies, he's not going to get caught. And that's the guy you're dealing with. You got to set up everything is a system. Nothing is left to chance when you're following my process. And no one who's experienced like that would ever require you to sign something before you test drive it. Driver's license, I have your information. I have your email. Okay, that's what we need. All this other stuff is just a trick to lock you in. It's ridiculous. Okay. All right. This one's from YouTube. Deshone, I got equity now at the end of my lease, but I got a third-party restriction. How can I sell it to a dealer without buying a new one? Separate the transactions. When Dave came in, Dave was the first person who used this strategy back in 2021. And he joined me because he said, look, I had a BMW. As soon as I found out how to get around this, that made me like $1,500 to $2,000 more because I had the third-party restriction. You call, we speak to used car managers, and you're going to get bids from used car managers. Hey, I got a car. I'm looking to sell it. I have a specific script in my book, but hey, I'm looking to sell it. And, can I give you some information about it? And you give me an offer. And we want to get at least 3 offers. It's a relatively new car, 2-3 years old, and that's it. You're having conversations and you're getting offers. These guys, their job is to buy cars. So, but that's independent of who you're getting the car from. So if I talk to a guy and he was like, look, I like the car, I can pay you this for it, I'm going to tell him, look, okay, I'm about to shop for my new car. I'm looking to have that deal done in a couple weeks. And as soon as I make that deal and schedule the delivery, I'll call you and I'll drop off this car to you. Now he's going to say, well, if too much time passes, I might have to look at it again. No problem. Understand. If 2 months pass, then yeah, I would keep in touch with him and be like, hey, I'm still shopping. Do you need to take a look at it again? Just so the person, I'm always, anyone who's listening to me, who uses my stuff, they're always locking up equity in who they're going to sell the car to before they focus on the new car shopping. Before. Equity needs to be, because that's a bidding process. I've already gone through the bidding process. I know who I'm giving my old car to. Now I'm on to my next car. I'm on to the replacement car. I'm on to the loan that's separate. But this needs to be locked up first, because what will happen is you've been taught, don't tell the dealer about your trade till the end. Let me tell you how horrible, who's heard that advice? And I'm going to tell you why that's the worst advice about getting money for your trade-in you could have ever listened to. Hopefully you never listened to it, but who's heard, don't tell the dealer about that you have a trade until the end? Who's heard that? Okay, Adri said, I've heard that. Okay, who's heard that? Okay, SS, I see you on YouTube, me. Okay. This is a widespread thing. If you go on any of the negotiators' websites or whatever, or you see social media videos, they'll tell you, I'm gonna tell you why that's hard. Because they're teaching you to shop a way where you're gonna negotiate your way to a deal. You're not sitting at home bidding. And then, so you're spending this time, and now you get the dealer to a price that you're comfortable with. All right, I like this price. Now they're telling you spring the trade on them. So what happens when the dealer doesn't give you what you think the trade is worth? What happens? Because if a dealer gave you a great price and you don't know that because you don't have enough offers, I'm gonna continue to emphasize that. You don't know you have a great price unless you have 4 or 5 other offers to compare them to. I have a great price from you. But so now dealer says, look, I know you think your car's worth 18, but I can only pay 16. That its max is 16. Now you're like, all right, well, listen, I'm out. Okay. Who lost there? SS, I know you walk away. I know. You lost. You just sat there and negotiated hours only to get up and walk away with no car. See, I don't know about you guys, but I'm really interested in the people who your money's just as important as your time. Time is just as important as your money. No one's going to waste my time. And I want you to have strategies where no one can waste your time. Because while you're sitting there for 2 hours and getting up to walk away, the salesman's like, okay, listen, they don't know their car's not worth 16, but whatever. Somebody else is going to buy this car. So you're going to go and do that same thing again with some other dealer. 2 hours. And I think that I guess they just know that you're comfortable spending a whole lot of time car shopping. But you don't do that. The only time you're ever going to reveal that you have a car that you might bring to the transaction is when you know you already have offers. So I don't mind once a dealer wins the bid saying, well, look, I do have this old car. I already agreed to sell it to this dealer from Kelly's Blue Book Instant Cash Offer, but if you could match it or beat it, I'll give you the car. That's different because you're not going to stop my deal. When you do it like that, no one stops your deal. No, you know what? Hey, that dealer that's paying you that's a good offer. All right, no problem. I'm going to buy the car from you because you won the bid, and then I'm going to sell the car to them. And if by chance they say, you know what, that is a car I could, my used car manager says he can match that. Great, here you go. But this getting up and walking away, driving to a dealership, only to find out I got to the dealership, they told me they had $4,000 in fees made up that they put. I just got up and walked away. You wasted 2 hours of your life that you can't get back, and you still need the car shop. So what you're going to find using what I teach, you'll never waste your time. You'll never waste your time. My time's just as important, man. I got 2 kids. I got a lovely wife. I want to spend time with them and people I love. not in car dealerships walking out. That's just me. If you like me, then we're gonna love working together. So go ahead, Dolan. All right. Why is the dealership telling me I have to pay a down payment on a lease? You're only talking to one dealer. That's it. 80% dealer. See, listen, lazy shopping. And listen, I don't know you, Jamaica. I don't know how familiar you are with my stuff. 80% of dealers are overpriced. 80% of dealers are going to lie. You're only dealing with one dealer. That's what you're going to get. You're at the mercy of one dealer. But I'm going to tell you something. You're never going to get stuff like this. Tote, $690 a month, $54,000 BMW, sitting at home getting bids. Look, absolutely failed to share. I graduated. She joined my program back in 2020. Now, just so you know, I have a video program and coaching. It's the same. It's based on the book. It's 7 steps videos, 7 steps, 7 steps in the book. So, you know, for those of you who want to know about this other program, you go to my bio, you can attend my masterclass, and you can attend my free masterclass. But this is what happens when you bid. Look, when you get bids. This is my first time leasing a brand new car. Got a 2023 BMW. This was last year. Awesome lease incentive, 75 off, plus you got $1,000 off. Look, Greg, 527. Look, monthly payment, 527. You don't see down payments here. Look, Danielle, $550 a month with first payment down. That's it. Included maintenance, gap insurance, all the fees. Look, we could do this all day long. This was Bonita in the middle of the pandemic. Middle of the pandemic, while people were paying $5 grand and 10 grand over sticker for Telluride. Look, I got my got my dream vehicle, 2023 Kia Telluride. Got that in December 2022. Bids, 600 down, 600 a month. That was a 1.25 lease. I remember when she got it. And I always show that because people were out there, oh, there's no deal. People have been saying that for years. People been saying that to me for years. Deshone, there's no deals out here. Somebody probably wrote that in the comments. I'm sure that's one of the questions. Sean, it seemed like it's no deals out here. Now listen, no strategy, no deals. Strategy, great deals. So one of the things we're never going to do is listen to what one dealer says. 5 dealers, 5 offers. You could do it your way, manually, or you could do it my way. It's up to you. But you get 5 offers because 4 are overpriced. That's the numbers. Okay? And that's how you guarantee when you drive off with a car that you paid the lowest price in the market. You can't guarantee you paid the lowest price in the market when you only got one price. You can't guarantee when you only got 2 prices. Now, somebody in my book, I teach something called the 25-to-5 strategy. This is for new cars and leases. We connect with 25 dealers online using my templates. You copy and paste. I got all my stuff in there. You just fill in what you want. And then we reach out to, and then out of those 25 dealers, we're shopping all their inventory. So we got a good shot of, out of 25, we got a good shot of 10 of those dealers having a car we'd be interested in. And our goal is to get 5 offers. That's it, all by email. So you can do it your way. You can call, you can do however you want, but we know this because we shop better than anyone else in this world. So when we're looking at all these offers and when we can say confidently 80% of are overpriced, we can talk to someone who's only getting 1 or 2 or 3 offers and tell them there's no way you're going to get great below market deals shopping that way. It's just not going to happen. So I wish I could tell you could mix your way. The only thing I can say about mixing your way is if you don't want to use my strategies to get the 5 offers. You want to get 5 offers some other way, God bless you. But you get 5 offers if you want below market deals. And if you're looking at super popular vehicles, Charles got a Palisade. Look, he got 10 offers. I reached out to 35 Hyundai dealers, got 10 quotes back. Offers range from 1.3 to 1.23 to 1.66. He ended up with a 1.23 lease on a Hyundai Palisade. $48,000 vehicle, $597 a month. So that's why the dealer you're dealing with is telling you you need a down payment because that's who they are. They're an 80% dealer. They're an 80% dealer. All right? That's just what it is. Strategy. Go ahead, Dolan. All right. TikTok. Miss Brooklyn. How much is a good price under MSRP? It's going to be different for each car. It's going to be different for each car. There's no way for you to know this. No way for you to know this. Look, Eddie got a Toyota. He got $2,086 under MSRP. You don't know what the bottom is without offers. Your way of shopping the old way, you're just feeling for the bottom. No way. And I'm showing you all of this so you know. Look, Kimberly got $20,000 off of Maserati a little while ago. $86,000, you see it right here, $86,000 MSRP. Their selling price to her was $66,261. Had she got excited thinking, I'm just going to make up a number. I'm just going to, if I could save $7,000 off this Maserati, that'd be great. We don't pick what the bottom is. We get enough offers and it reveals what the bottom is. You get a bunch of offers on a Toyota Camry, the lowest offer, $2,000 under MSRP. Now, Kimberly, Maserati, that car, 20 grand off. Look, Sean, $20,000 off his F-150 Lightning XLT. Look, MSRP 73, dealer discount 4,900, 15,500. Now, just so y'all know, the 80% dealers are not even going to tell you there's a $15,500 rebate. So don't think he was just looking at a bunch of offers and everyone had a $15,000 rebate. Some people tell you, okay, there's $7,500 in rebates. Some people tell you it's $2,000 in rebates. If you're sitting in front of them, what do they have to tell you that for if you don't have, you're not going to shop. The statistics show, unfortunately, average people are going to shop 2 dealers. That's statistics. That's something that we're trained on. 2 dealers. So if you're going to shop 2 dealers and you're going to shop like the average person, why the heck am I going to tell you there's a $15,000 rebate on this vehicle when you're sitting in front of me and we just negotiate? That's what you're going to get. So it's no way for you to predict where the bottom is. Look, it's no way. Look, this is Tiffany. Tiffany sent me this the other day. She used my book. She got a $44,000 CX90 Mazda 2024. $6,530 off. Look, you see it up at the top. Believe we got a good deal from what we learned from the rest of the book. This is a bid. Now, I'm going to tell you, I don't care how big the discount is. If it's from one dealer, that's not enough. Because again, the discount could look amazing. Wow, 7 grand off. 10 grand off, 15 grand off, until you get the 5 offers minimum. What if the max was 20 off? What if the max was 25 off? I told you, I sold a Maybach when I was working for Mercedes-Benz. It had a $20,000 rebate. If a person was getting bids for the Maybach, they would have saw that they could probably save 30, 40 grand off a Maybach at that time when they were running a $20,000 rebate. But if they came in and the dealer said, all right, look, I'll give you 15 grand off. If they thought, okay, that sounds good. So you don't get to pick where the bottom is. No one does. And if you try that, you're going to lose every time. And you're going to lose by not getting to the bottom and by wondering. See, that buyer's remorse, that's wondering. Was that really the bottom? You think we could have got more money off? That's buyer's remorse. We never have that. I want you to never have that. And when you sit at home and you let these offers come to you and you look and you see 5, 6, 7 people bidding for your business, you'll never wonder. You'll never wonder again. That feeling of in your gut of, oh, I hope I'm not getting ripped off. Oh, I hope this is a good price. That's a thing of the past. You'll never have that. Okay? And you deserve not to ever have that. Stop shopping the old way. Okay? Go ahead, Dolan. Very common question, too. Yep, you did the work. This one's Nita from TikTok. Instagram, I don't see enough questions over here. Instagram. I see a couple of y'all on, but I don't see any questions. Can I oil you up? Okay, you got to get it. You always got some weirdos popping up. That's why I'm going to let Dolan pull in the questions. Sometimes I'll be reading and we get just good. All right, so Nita from TikTok. Should I be worrying about the cost of insurance when buying a car? I would look, insurance is insurance. I would use a site like Insurify or Jerry, the Jerry app. I would use a site that shops multiple companies. Insurify shops multiple companies. And some of the smaller companies that don't have the big budgets, some of you go to insurify.com tonight, you might save money. So you need to, and I'm not endorsed by Insurify right now. I just believe in the product. Look, I believe in anything that gets my favorite two words, multiple offers. Because that's how we buy everything else. That's how we buy TVs, that's how we buy electronics, that's how we buy groceries. You go in, you want some potato chips, you got 30, 40 companies competing. You got, spaghetti sauce, 10 different companies competing, trying to sell you. Oh, we're on sale this week. Blah, blah, blah. It's always multiple offers. So any tool that gets multiple offers, I love it. So Insurify.com or the Jerry app. Yeah, insurance is insurance. J Love, how's the market looking? Watch the earlier broadcast. We answered that. That was pretty much, I think that was the first question in the show. So you could go to YouTube, watch the rebroadcast, and you'll see the answer to that question. Go ahead, Dolan, shoot that next one out. Okay, what is a third-party offers? What is a third-party restriction? Third-party restriction is a restriction in your lease contract that says you cannot sell direct to a used car buyer other than a dealership of the same brand. So we get bids from Carvana, CarMax, Driveway, Kelly's Blue Book Instant Cash Offer, Car Gurus, and AutoNation. 3 of those offers are from local dealers. 3 of those offers are from online car buyers. And they cut a check same day. Simple process. They compete. Third-party restriction means you can't sell direct to them. You would have to buy the car and resell it. We don't do that. We sell to a dealer of the same brand. We get bids from a dealer of the same brand. So that's what a third-party restriction is, and that's how we handle those. All right. Go ahead, Dolan. Everything I'm teaching for those who just came on is in my new digital book. It's called Car Shopping. Well, it used to be called Car Shopping for people that hate car shopping. Now it's just Cars from Home. 7 steps to saving time, money, and avoiding dealerships. So for those of you who want the same results that you're seeing from all these people, if you want those below market deals to be your below market deals, and you get the roadmap, you get the guide, it's a step-by-step blueprint. First step is, because many of you don't know the 7 steps. Those of you who have the book, you know it. First step is the most important question. How many years are you keeping the car? That's the 8-year rule. That's going to help you decide whether you need to buy or shop for a great lease deal. Second step is the equity assessment. Third step is deal structure, and it's deal-focused budgeting. We don't just budget. Budgeting is whatever it is, I'll just budget and I'll see what I could afford. No, we budget for a deal. You need to know what a deal. When I'm budgeting for a lease, I'm budgeting to see if the lease is great, this is what it should cost. If I'm budgeting for a purchase, I'm budgeting, this is how much a great deal should be. I'm coming up with my max offers way before I ever go look at cars. So that's day 3. That's step 3, deal structure. Step 4 is shopping, not buying. Step 5 is multiple offers. That's when we're in the market. Step 6 is paperwork and protection. Step 7 is delivery. 7-step process. So everything is in there step by step. You can get your copy for 75% off as part of our book launch. It's in my TikTok bio, in my Instagram bio, or if you're on Facebook or YouTube, it's in the comment section, or you can scan the QR code on the screen. If you're watching us on TV, you can scan that QR code with your camera to get your copy. Be in your inbox in 5 minutes. Okay, this is Wes from Facebook. How do you feel about vehicles that are well over MSRP? Don't. See, I mean, if you guys can't see that you need help, because the language you're using is really desperate language. You know, I really don't know, like, because here's the thing. You're walking into dealers because that's all you know to do, and you're saying that stuff. Vehicle I'm interested in selling almost 20 grand over MSRP. I remember when the new Broncos came out a couple years ago during the pandemic, and people were paying 10 grand, 20 grand over MSRP for them. And when our first person got a Bronco with no markups, everyone who paid 10, 20 grand, 5 grand, 2 grand over at that time, money's out the window dealing with 80% dealers. And then you go in and you say this stuff that just works against you. Oh man, yo, you go into another dealer. Hey, what's this? Oh, y'all got, how much y'all asking for this? Well, we're asking 10,000 over sticker. Oh, okay, that's better than the other deal. This other deal I was in, they was asking 20 grand over sticker. Negotiating against yourself. How you gonna turn around and ask me for money off when you just said that the price, because I'm 10 grand over, I'm good. Oh man, you only 5 grand over stickers. Man, you all right, this is good because the other one was 20 grand over sticker. Okay, so don't ask me nothing about my 5 at all. You interested? Because you know, hey, yeah, you know, let's talk. What's the payment like on this? All right, come on, have a seat here. This is you going out with the cleaver in your head. I don't know how else to tell you. Like, sometimes I'm nice. I'm a nice guy. I wouldn't be doing this if I wasn't a nice guy. This is what God put me here to do. But I'm telling you, you're a sheep to slaughter. If you don't learn this strategy, you are a sheep to slaughter, and every single time you buy cars, you're overspending by, you go out right here. Now, if you get bids and you start to see, okay, man, I could get that car not only for this. We had somebody come on the show the other day, and she said, man, I got a brand new 2024 BMW X4M, the M. And she said, I got the bids. I got 4 grand off and another 3,000 for my military. I saved 7 grand. Bids sitting at home. Some people going in the BMW dealers paying 5 grand over sticker for the brand new, newly designed 2024 M. So, any way I could get it, I'll break down the numbers and let you see. That sound like this guy and these people he's showing getting way different results than I'm getting. And sometimes I'm gonna just be straight up with you. You $24. I don't know. So go ahead. I don't know, because that's it. All I could do is just follow the show and listen to what we're talking about so you can understand. Go ahead. Go ahead, Dolan. You can't make people. It's crazy. Like, literally, you cannot make people. Like, I could sit on here, talk to them blue in the face, talk about the money, show the people. You can't make it. I can't make y'all. So only the minority of people who are like, yo, you know what? This dude, I've been public for 3 years. If what I was teaching wasn't working, if I was scamming, if people were getting my stuff, we wouldn't be 5-star reviews. We wouldn't have 2 million followers. It would have came out a long time ago. I've been doing free master classes for 3 years. This would have been out by now. So understand, I'm fighting for your money. I'm fighting to protect your money. And I never had a book for $24. The least expensive way to work with me before my book came out was $397. I'm gonna let that sink in. The least expensive way to work with me prior to my book coming out was $397. And people didn't bat an eye. Some of you been in my master classes. You've been in my free master classes. You know, oh man, I can't work personally with Deshone. I can't get his step-by-step strategies until I invest in his program. All those people that y'all seeing been investing in my program since the pandemic. I never had something for $24 that you could get everything I teach. It took me everything because I priced the book at $97. I said, it's not fair. It's not fair that I'm going to help you save thousands and thousands of dollars and I'm charging the same price for daggone books that are talking about wizards and fairies. That's not fair. But, you know, I got to be obedient. God told me to do this, I'm going to do it. I don't know how long I'm going to do it. But for now, You can get your book you can get your book for 75% off in my TikTok bio, in my Instagram bio, in the comment section. YouTube and Facebook. TikTok, is it better to get a car loan from a credit union? No, we use a process. Everything we do is bids. So if you're new to this, we use a process called the bank bidding war, where it's 3 rounds. So before we look for a car, if I'm looking at a Honda, first thing I'm going to do is see, does the Honda I'm looking for have any special interest rates? 0%, 0.99%, 1.99%. That's going to eliminate my needing to shop for any bank loans, because a special subvented interest rate is like a finance rebate. They're giving you rebates in the form of financing. So no one can compete with that. So once I do round 1, if there's no special interest rates, now we start getting our bids for the car. Or if I'm looking for a used car, we start, shopping the marketplaces, narrowing it down to the ones that are going to be the best value. And then once we see who wins the bid, we find our car, we lock up that car, and then we go and we start round 2 of the bank bidding war, which is going to be our credit union, our banks, online lenders, going online and letting everyone access our credit with a hard pull. Because if you do this right, this weighs on your credit just like one hard inquiry. So if one hard inquiry drops your score 10 points, you could have 20 hard inquiries in this 48-hour period, and it's going to drop at the same 10 points. So we do that, and whoever gets the best rate, whoever makes us the best offer from round 2, then we call the dealership and we give them an opportunity to beat it, and that's round 3. The dealers have 7, 10, 15 banks. Any of their banks can beat it. That's the bank bidding war. Everything we do is a bid. There's no price assurance shopping the old way. Not only are you overpaying, even if you get a good deal, you're going to question it because you don't have enough offers to compare it to. Once you have enough offers, I had 10 banks compete for my business. I know I got the best rate. We need to know. That's the name of the game. Price assurance, guarantees. These are words that you haven't had in your car buying experience. I'm guaranteeing. If I ask any of these people here that I showed you, Tiffany with the Mazda earlier, Sean with the $20,000 off his F-150, Charles with his Palisade lease. If I asked any of these people, if you said, hey, look, are you willing to bet me $500 that there was no better offer in the market that you could have got, they'll all take the bet. I'll take the bet. But if I asked you, and I took listen, what's the last car you bought? Okay, are you willing to bet $500 that there wasn't any lower offer in the market for that same car? Would you take the bet? No price assurance. No price assurance. Price assurance only comes through multiple bids, multiple offers. All right? All right, y'all. I think we're going to wrap. Thank you, Nita. I'm glad you enjoyed that. We've been on for about an hour. This is our 7 p.m. show. You may see the rebroadcast. We'll see the rebroadcast. You can invite your friends to the rebroadcast. We play them throughout the day on all our channels. Everything I'm teaching is out of my book. You guys know that. If you want to attend my free masterclass, we have a link in the comment section for you. It's called Everything You're Doing Wrong, Buying, Selling, and Leasing Cars. It's about an hour. So you could go there. Hold on. We're going to wrap, Dolan. Man, I'm tired. I'm tired, man. We'll wrap an hour and 2 minutes, man. Everybody can come back, join us on another live show because we got tons of questions. We could never get through all the questions. Once the stream starts heating up, we can't get through all the questions. So if you want to attend my free masterclass, it's a link in the comments, or if you're on Instagram, there's a link in my bio. You can attend. It's an hour long, and then we do Q&A after. And then if you, of course, want the book, you guys know where it's at, in the comment section or in my bio. Other than that, I'll see you all on the next show. Shout out to everybody who joined, and it was good to see you all. All right, I'll see you all on the next stream. God bless you.